murky afternoon at Stellar Field on the campus of Bowling Green State University. We're hoping the rain holds off to get in an eagerly anticipated regional semifinal baseball playoff between St. John's and Perrysburg, the city versus NLL champions Greg Franke, along with Rick Poland for this game. And both of these teams have outstanding frontline pitching. In fact, Perrysburg has got tremendous pitching depth, but they better hope that they get a good number of innings out of their starter, Alex Schmenk, because of the fact that on Monday and Tuesday they had really tough games that went down to the wire, and they had to use a lot of arms to nail down the NLL regular season championship.
Yeah, one of the problems that we've had this spring, getting backed up with games now because of the bad weather that we've experienced earlier, and every time there's a decent day, you're playing a ball game now, so that does kind of tax your pitching core.
Perrysburg actually was done a very big favor by having the game rained out and an extra day of rest for the rest of their pitchers. On the other hand, St. John's has no such problems. Jesse Adams has been an outstanding frontline pitcher for them, and ERA just a shade over 1 a game. He's rested and ready.
Yes, and with a 10-0 record, unblemished in the loss column, by far the best pitcher in the Toledo City League, probably next to Lepiar's at start. And, you know, a lot is going to rest on his shoulders because they don't have the depth that Perrysburg has pitching-wise. And so it's going to be a battle here between the two starting pitchers and who does the best job.
All right, and both of them very, very capable. And a trip to the regional finals on the line coming up on BCSN.
Toledo Door & Window can help you create the perfect door at a great price. Colors, designs, window glass. The choices in entry doors have never been better. Why spend days with catalogs trying to visualize it all when you can come see it in moments? See Provia door designs in any color and glass right before your eyes. With our experienced designers, find the perfect combination for your home. Once you like the look, feel the quality with our showroom displays. Getting the perfect door has never been this easy. Stop by today.
Home of the Talking Door.
Looking for a quality education that's affordable? Discover Lourdes College, voted best college in the Midwest. With academic programs of excellence, numerous bachelor's and master's degree programs, and a nationally recognized faculty, our focus is on your success. At Lourdes, you'll receive a values-based education with a personal touch. Discover small class sizes, affordable tuition, exciting athletics, and apartment-style housing. Discover your place, Lourdes College.
Summer in Toledo can only mean one thing: Mud Hens baseball on BCSN. Watch as the Hens try to bring another championship back to Toledo. See every home game all this season on BCSN, now in high definition on BCSN HD, channel 608. You can't get this with a disc.
It used to be easy to borrow money locally to buy a new car. Well, it still can be. Co-op Toledo Credit Union has money to lend people right here in the Toledo area. Not a member? Call us or apply online. There's no loan application fee. Co-op Toledo Credit Union.
When water, smoke, or fire damage your home, it can be devastating. When every minute counts, call PuroClean, the paramedics of property damage. We're there for you when you need us the most, responding quickly with compassion, doing whatever it takes to give you back your home and sense of security. That's why we're trusted by insurance professionals and property owners nationwide. PuroClean, the paramedics of property damage. Call PuroClean at 419-740-6270.
When you need a car loan, do those banks with offices all over the world treat you like you're from another planet? Co-op Toledo Credit Union has money to lend people right here in the Toledo area. Not a member? Call or apply online. There's no loan application fee. Co-op Toledo Credit Union.
Hey, if you haven't been watching R&R lately,
you're crazy. Forget the Browns. Forget the Browns.
Knock you off the back of the chair.
Hot dog. Danica Patrick, Tony Dungy, Jim Jackson, how are you tonight?
I think Norm Van Ness is going to punch my lights out.
Catch R&R every Thursday at 7 p.m. on BCSN.
Keep your older car running longer for less with Cherry Picked Auto Parts. Bring your tools along because you pick the parts from thousands of cars parked out on the lot. Most models from the 80s and 90s, as well as older and newer models, are on the lot. Find the parts that you need: tires, wheels, batteries, fenders, radiators, mufflers, bumpers, and more. Cherry Picked Auto Parts is open 7 days a week, 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. all year long. So don't get nicked at some old junkyard pit. Buy the parts that you need at Cherry Picked.
Coming to a metro park near you. A summer adventure of enormous fun. Your mission: to find various landmarks in the 9 metro parks. for a chance at winning great prizes. Keep your eyes peeled for the Great Park Search, starting June 6th at a Metro Park near you.
BCSN, available exclusively on Buckeye Cable System, is presented by The Andersons, more for your home. Yark Automotive, just what you're looking for. And by Banner Mattress and Furniture.
Back out at Stellar Field and just about ready for this regional semifinal matchup between certainly the two top teams in the area this year, the Perrysburg Yellow Jackets and St. John's Jesuit Titans, battling for a spot in the regional championship. They're the St. John's Titans, and they have a real murderer's row to send up to the plate. And let's take a look at their batting order. We have Jesse Adams is also an outstanding pitcher, as we saw. Also their leading hitter at .514, leading off. Matt Palmer hitting second at .492. Nate Pearson, power hitting first baseman third. Ben Nevers, third baseman fourth. Jim Scotto had a grand slam against Whitmer in the district semi. At shortstop, Corey Tipton, the catcher. Joe Roby in right. Liam Allen, center. And Dylan Willits, the second baseman for St. John's. And they will go up against the offerings of Alex Schmenk, headed for the University of Toledo. His brother Blake was also an all-state performer at Owens and likely going to continue on his baseball career at a higher level. And he has an ERA of 1.04. They had 3 pitchers under 1 for the majority of the season. His just a shade over now, but really going into the season, he was still considered their ace pitcher.
Well, and well-deserved, and you know, that was a carryover from last season too, that he had another outstanding season last year as a junior. And I'll tell you what, you know, both of these teams well stocked with talent and good potential at the Division I level. You don't usually see teams with that many Division I talent level high school players, and especially Perrysburg with their depth in pitching, which usually bodes well when you get into the postseason.
Alex Schmenk last year had a .84 ERA, and he was actually, for a good part of this year, doing much better than that. In fact, the 3 Perrysburg pitchers had given up only 2 earned runs after 70 innings of this season. Those runs were both recorded against Schmenk. And the other 2, Williams and Krusel, hadn't allowed any, and Zach Ryder of Northview, the same thing. So it was really been a dominant year among the top pitchers in the Northern Lakes League, as it's a 1-1 count on the left-handed swinging Jesse Adams. And inside here, but he gave him the corner for the strike.
Looks like we'll have one of the delayed call umpires behind the plate, giving the verbal at the plate and then the visual sign later.
Let's say he just wants to make sure he gets it right, except he already called it.
Yeah, the players know down there. They hear it.
2-2 swung on, and a little looper going the other way, and that drops in for a base hit. Certainly not the most impressive looking of the Jesse Adams hits this year, but he'll take it, and a leadoff single.
Well, he certainly will. That ball got in on his fist. Fastball that kind of rode in on him and just hit it where they ain't. A little wee Willie Keeler hitting style there. But leadoff man on, and we'll see. Maybe we'll see early here, Greg. We talked about before the game, execution of the little things like bunting, hitting and run, bunting, bunt and run, advancing runners. You can figure that this might be a low-scoring game because of the pitching prowess of both teams.
Coach Jim Hall at Perrysburg, he said he thought the ability to bunt would be a big factor in this game as Volmar takes one high and away. Volmar back in left field. He'd been playing as a designated hitter in the districts. He had sustained a bit of an injury, so they were keeping him out for a while, but now he has taken his place again, and he lays down a perfect bunt, and that's going to be out at first base. Well, I thought he was going to beat that one out almost certainly when it got beyond the pitcher's grasp, and he really got down in a hurry despite the fact that he had been injured, but beautifully played to at least get one out.
Well, I'm sure that had a little bit to do with it. Plus, it's a little slow track with the mud, but a well-placed bunt. As soon as it got past the pitcher and the first baseman had to come over, I thought he would have it made, but the second baseman did a nice job of, boy, that was bang, bang there. There was a lot of different feet hanging around that bag. It's hard to tell which one was which touching first, but nice job there by Ryan Young to recover, and first baseman J.J. Stockwell getting the ball to him. That could have been a big problem for Perrysburg.
St. John's, nor did Whitmer bunt all that well in the district final game. But in a game like this, and we were just talking how important it would be, they lay down a beauty. Despite the tweaked hamstring, Matt Ballmer really flew down the first baseline as ball one now to Nate Pearson, a .440 hitter with tremendous power. Only had a couple of home runs this year, but he can clear the decks at any time. And he was trying to there, in on the fist though. Well placed, and strike one.
Well, he's using the whole field now. He's not trying to pull everything, and that will cut down your home runs. Plus, Greg, he doesn't get the same type of pitches that he used to get.
They walk him so many times. As we saw in the district, many times he would just walk up, take a look at the umpire, and he'd say, go take your base, though you were really expecting the intentional walk.
Well, they pitch him very tough. A lot of breaking pitches to try to keep the ball away from him, away from his power.
1-2. And he hits that one mile in the air, drifting over it. Third baseman Garbick, and he lost it. I don't know what happened there. There's not very much wind. Obviously no sun, but somehow he just missed it.
He also went into an area there that's very wet in the grass and kind of muddy. I don't know whether he slipped at all, but boy, that's one thing you don't want to do, especially with Nate Pearson, is to give him extra life at the plate. See if he can take advantage here.
And he hit that one foul. For a moment it looked like he might loop it into right field for a base hit, but no. I think the only thing that can be said on that pop is that he hit it so high in the air, you could almost get dizzy, you could almost get vertigo looking up trying to decipher where the ball was.
Well, it's a dark afternoon, very dark gray, and the ball kind of blends in with that sky. I think looked like Nate might have hit that ball on his knuckles. That was way inside.
So far, he's done a good job keeping them in tight. Adams trying to steal third, and he slides around the tag. So it looked like Garbick might just redeem himself there. Adams slid around him, but you see he got up a little gimpy, and that would certainly be a matter of concern for St. John's. Take a look at this.
Well, they called that a strike on Pearson, so he's out. And
I don't think he ever tagged him.
He avoided the tag, but avoiding that tag may have cost them something more. And see, the mistake that he made there was he was reaching to tag the runner instead of taking the mitt to the bag, because the player has to get to the bag. So you youngsters out there watching this, when you get the ball and you're waiting to make the tag, don't chase the runner. Get the mitt to the bag and let the runner come to you, because he has to get to the bag.
Pressure on Ben Nevers. He hits a fly ball to reasonably deep center, but Matt Krusel has no problem packing it in, and Perrysburg gets out of trouble. End of half an inning, no score. Perrysburg coming to bat.
Celebrate savings this Memorial Day with Banners Made in America sale. Queen size panel bed made in Galax, Virginia, just $469. Dual reclining sofa made in Pontotoc, Mississippi, just $7.99. Or make it into a sectional for only $20.99. England sofa exclusively at Banner from New Tazewell, Tennessee, only $679. Save up to $600 on select Banner mattresses made right here in Toledo. Plus, get up to 48 months of interest-free financing. See store for details at all 6 Banner locations.
Welcome to the new Appliance Center Home Store, the greatest furniture showroom in Ohio. We're the area's Tempur-Pedic mattress headquarters. Plus, see Simmons, Rustonic, and more. Choose from over 200 mattresses in stock. Right now, queen mattress sets starting at just $265. Plus, 2 years same as cash on select mattresses. Free same-day delivery, setup, and recycling. The new Appliance Center Home Store, Ohio's greatest home furnishing destination.
No score between Perrysburg and St. John's. And as we see the crowd here settling in for this ball game, St. John's has got to be a little bit concerned, maybe even more than a little bit concerned about their pitcher, Jesse Adams. But let's take a look at the Perrysburg batting order. Alex Schmenk, the pitcher. Matt Garbick at third. Matt Krusel, the center fielder. Zach Colby at catcher. Steve Slocum in right. Hunter Smith at DH. Ryan Young, the second baseman. Kevin Schenk at shortstop. And A.J. Stockwell at first. But Jesse Adams, who stole third, and we saw that he was a little bit hobbling when he got up, sliding around that tag. He seemed to have a little bit of a hard time even trotting into the plate after that last fly ball was hit, and he is somewhat lightly treading out there on the mound right now.
It looks like the upper right hip, lower back on the right, and he's not 100% right now. I can tell you that just by watching him warm up and his reaction. And the problem being that will see, he's trying to stretch it out right there.
You can even see looking at him.
He is trying to stretch that out, and the problem being now, as you'll see right there, boom, he's got to land. That's his landing leg, and all that weight is going to come down on that back hip. Right back hip.
Fouled off by Alex Schmenk, pitcher against pitcher, 1-1. I guess that's why you see the pitcher gets on base. In Major League Baseball, they're very conservative about having him doing a lot of aggressive base running. Here's a twisting liner to center field, but it is lined up and caught out there by Liam Allen, who is an outstanding center fielder. Let's take a look at the St. John's defense. We have Corey Tipton behind the plate, Nate Pearson at first, Dylan Willits at second, Jim Scott, the shortstop, Ben Nevers, the third baseman, Matt Ballmar, Liam Allen, and Joe Roby comprising the outfield. And Matt Garbick is up now. He's got to be one of the more relieved guys after his drop of that pop fly and then missing the tag at third, although that was a result of a good slide by Adams. Did not hurt Perrysburg. Now trying to do something positive at the plate. Pops it up. Drifting out, and in it drops between three players. I was about to try to say who was taking charge, but nobody really did, and the ball hit the ground. And Garbick, the guy who dropped the pop fly, gets on in a similar fashion here in the last of the first.
Well, give and ye shall receive. Right now, the second baseman is calling for it, but then he backs away. He thinks that the right fielder has made a call, and miscommunication out there, and that costs St. John's, but gives an opportunity here for Perrysburg with one out.
Well, ball dropped between three players. It goes for a base hit, even though probably any one of the three could have caught it. Here's Krusel hitting one well to right center. Allen is over to glove it, and he has recorded 2 putouts, and he could have recorded the third putout. He was the one furthest away from the ball, but I still think he could have gotten to it. Now Colby is up. Zach Colby hitting at .492, the cleanup hitter for Perrysburg. And Adams, were it not for that gaff in the field, he'd be through one inning at least.
Yeah, and he'd be in the dugout getting some medical treatment.
Yeah.
Which is a negative thing for St. John's. They could have been out of the inning.
They've already got their bullpen going.
Well, I'm not surprised, because I'm sure Coach Eckhart noticed right away that this could potentially be a problem.
Swung on, a little chopper to first. Pearson handles it without a problem. Unassisted putout. Both teams get on in an odd fashion, but nobody scores in the first. We'll be right back for the second.
It's just what you're looking for.
Where can you go for Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan's largest selection of pre-owned vehicles under $10,000 or pre-owned luxury vehicles under $20,000? YarkAuto.com. Search over 2,000 new and pre-owned vehicles every day. Shop Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Nissan, Subaru, BMW, Chevrolet, and Fiat. Plus, get pre-approved in seconds. You can even schedule your service appointment. Just click YarkAuto.com.
Tom's Tire. Tom's Tire knows that buying a tire should not be stressful, intimidating, or confusing. We want to listen to what your needs are. We want to identify what your budget is, and we want to find the best value for your vehicle. Whether you drive a little or drive a lot, the Tom's Tire staff will cut through the confusion and find the tire that best suits your needs at the right price.
Tom's Tire. Go with the name you know.
No score between St. John's and Perrysburg. And all kinds of coaches are watching this game from the stands. Coach Kriegel there, Perrysburg, as the teams move to the top half of the second inning. And we still continue to keep an eye on Jesse Adams. And he had a hard time getting to first to cover in case he would have had to in that last out of the inning. And he was very gingerly walking back to the dugout as well. There he is. And we mentioned there were two pitchers throwing over there in the St. John's bullpen, although that activity has ceased for the moment.
Well, he's getting a lot of attention from the assistant coaches. Coach Rockwell, Jeff Rockwell, who calls the pitches, talking to him, and the trainer is she's over there, and he's having her work on the area, that lower back, upper right hip area that is causing him some discomfort. And looking at the game notes for today, Greg, weather, cold and wet, that can't make that pulled muscle feel any better either.
0-1 to Jim Scott. That one fouled off. Who crashed a grand slam home run against Springfield in the district semis. And Springfield turned around and gave Perrysburg one heck of a game. They lost 3-2 in 7 innings. And that one did not go around. Ball and 2 strikes. Perrysburg was mercied by Springfield was mercied by St. John's. Then they were mercied by Anthony Wayne in the game played earlier this week at Fifth Third Field. But in between, they played one of their outstanding efforts of the year against Perrysburg. 2-2 count here on Scott. Good eye there outside that grand slam. Was one of 2 home runs he hit during the season. You see he ropes a lot of them out during batting practice, though. Almost no wind here, which is a rarity at Stellar Field.
Very still, very damp and very cold.
Off-speed pitch missed, ball 4.
Very cold for this time of year, anyway.
Number 20, Corey.
Yeah, I'm sure in March they'd be really happy with this weather.
But a great crowd. I mean, this Stellar Field is jammed with fans from Perrysburg and St. John's. It's great to have a regional close by like this, Greg, that everybody can have an opportunity to attend.
Definitely beats the days of driving out to Shelby. I think the light went on for somebody, and they said, hey, if we got 2 teams from Northwest Ohio playing, why not have them play in Northwest Ohio at a very nice facility like this? And this time, once again, a well-executed bunt. Rather heavily applied tag there to Corey Tipton. But Jim Scott gets down to second. That's the second successful sacrifice bunt that the Titans have pulled off here this game.
He just got a warning from the home plate umpire, too. You know, excessive tag here. That was a 2-handed shove. Shiver shoved him pretty much out of play, but the umpire went out and had a few words for him, saying, don't do that again.
Hopefully he got it out of his system as Joe Roby slashes one to left field. Up high, though, and right into the glove of Austin Lee. And there's 2 down. And Liam Allen, the batter. Runner in scoring position in the person of Jim Scott.
Well, so far we've seen 2 well-executed bunts by St. John's.
Line drive 1.
Another runner in scoring position.
Liam Allen, his father was an 8-year major leaguer. First-round draft choice.
That's good, cut. That's a real good cut.
Swung on and fouled off.
Go right center here, Leo.
You need to take advantage of these opportunities if you're St. John's. You mentioned the minuscule earned run average of Alex Schmenk. So when you get an opportunity to put a run on the board, you better take advantage of it.
Goes to second. He's really making an attempt at a pickoff there. Clambers back to the bag. It's another thing too, when you've got your starting pitcher hobbling a little bit, it's even more of a pressure-packed situation when you're going against a pitcher who basically allows about a run a game. Swung on and missed. There's very little margin for error in a situation like that. This is the second inning in a row that St. John's has threatened. They weren't able to score the first time. And now they're down to their last strike here. Allen, a .352 hitter. Went after the high, hard one, missed it. And the side retired after an inning and a half. Still no score. We'll be right back.
When people are wronged, they have the right to expect justice.
And we founded our firm to protect that right.
Since 1955, we've built our reputation on helping people, not the big corporations and not insurance companies.
Day by day, we've earned the respect of our clients and our peers.
Case by case, we've helped thousands receive the justice and the compensation they deserve.
I'm an attorney with Galantakis, Boyce, Knowlton, Schaefer.
And I'm here to protect you.
BCSN and the Toledo Beach Volleyball Association are bringing sand volleyball back for another season of fun in the sun. Get your team together and sign up for BCSN's High School Beach Volleyball League. Games begin the week of June 6th at the beach in International Park. Double and triple teams are available, and 2011 high school grads are welcome. Visit ToledoBeachVolleyball.com for more information and to register. Stay in shape and have fun this summer at the beach with BCSN.
It's like the old Abe Stark hit sign win suit sign they had at Ebbets Field. BCSN sign out there. Couldn't get BCSN vision or something if you hit the sign. That would be a good little promotion. As we move to the last half of the second, as Steve Slocum, the batter, he was the top hitter in the NLL there early in the season, still hitting a very solid .422 clip. Takes a ball, then fouls it off. So far, at least, he might be laboring in everything else he does, but Adams is still bringing the pitches pretty well. It's just a question of will he be able to continue. Breaking pitch, chopped to shortstop, and very nicely played there. Fired across for the out by Jim Scott, and there's one down.
Well, he was receiving some treatment by the trainer in the dugout, and he does look a lot more comfortable now, Greg, so maybe they were able to rub that kink out, as this ball must have hit the plate because it's too soft in front of the plate to take a bounce like that. And a nice job by Scott getting that ball up the middle.
Foul back. I understand the tarp was not laid down yesterday, and it did rain a good deal, so I can't believe it's a particularly fast turf out there today.
Well, I can attest to the field conditions yesterday because I was here, and it was standing water all the way down the third baseline and several spots on the infield.
Fouled out of play, and quickly Adams is up on the count on designated hitter Hunter Smith.
They did have a tarp around over home plate in the pitcher's mound, but they did a great job getting this field ready for a game today.
And that one blocked by Corey Tipton. And you saw as a very solid defensive catcher.
So hats off to the Bowling Green ground crew that got this field in playing condition.
Yeah, he took something off of that one, swung on and missed for strike three. And quickly there are two down, and Adams is belying his condition right now with the way he's been pitching.
A little off-speed breaking pitch to the left-handed hitter that pulls out a little bit on it, gets that front hip opened up a little bit too much. And actually, Adams looks like he's not all that uncomfortable, right? Oh, see a little ginger step right there. I think, you know, sometimes you start to feel good, Greg, and then you try to do a little bit more than what you should. And
going along fine, and then you feel that telltale pop, and all of a sudden you realize something is not quite right. 2-0. And up high. Look and see, even under the best of circumstances, he had some control issues, and he pitched in the district game against Springfield, and there's a walk on 4 pitches.
That was one of the things I was going to bring up, too, was the fact that, at least in the terms of Adams, he does have that tendency, as you said, Greg, to at times lose his control. And it got him through the districts. But you have to wonder if he has that same problem here today, if a team like Perrysburg might not really take advantage of that.
Laying down a bunt there, even though 2 were out. I think it will behoove Adams to have as short innings as possible, as few pitches as possible, especially. I mean, that always will behoove a pitcher, but even more so now. Little toss over. Adams a lefty, so he has that advantage. We've seen a lot of lefties this year.
Yes, we
more
have.
so than just about any other year I can recall at the high school level. Breaking pitch, and that one hit foul.
No, it's one of the things that seems to bother him now, Greg, is because he's on the hill, on the mound, going up and down that slope where your gait kind of changes. You have to kind of shift a little bit because you're going up and down a slope. Kind of seems to bother him a little bit.
It's again a breaking pitch handled by Pearson, and another unassisted put out. Adams still looking good regardless of whatever problems he's having. Still no score.
Promote a higher quality of life through our medical assisting program or new exercise science program. Healthcare professionals are in demand. Apply today.
Hello, friends. It's Vito, and you are maybe wondering what makes my pizza so special, huh? That's simple. I love to make my Vito's pizza just for you, and you're going to love to eat it because every bite is pure pizza enjoyment. You're gonna love my Pancho Vito Taco Pizza, made with the freshest ingredients and my very own special taco seasonings. There's a fiesta of flavor in every delicious bite, huh? Vito's Pizza and Subs. Fast, hot, fresh, guaranteed.
Promote a higher quality of life through our medical assisting program or new exercise science program. Healthcare professionals are in demand. Apply today.
Tune in to BCSN Sunday night at the races every week at 9 p.m. Relive the thrills, spills, and close finishes from some of the area's most exciting tracks every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Visit www.bcsn.tv to see which track we'll be at this week.
Yeah, looks like all the seats are taken, Greg.
Very close to it. And we move to the top of the third. And Dylan Willits hits the ground ball to shortstop, and the ball sails. And it will be a throwing error on Kevin Schenk. Willits is on. Schenk in German is gift, and they just gave St. John's a gift there.
Well, this ball spent a lot of time on the grass. It could have been a little slick, a little wet as it reached his bare hand, and you can see him out there. He's kind of rubbing that hand on his leg. A little bit of slick conditions, and this is 3 innings in a row, Greg, that St. John's has had a base runner, and at least 2 of the 3 innings a leadoff man on.
Now, I'm going to guess that if Adams gets on, they're going to lay off the steal attempts for the rest of this ball game. And lays down a nice bunt. You see, he's not even running at all down the first baseline. And
no,
Willits gets down to second.
Yeah, he's having difficulty with that. He's labored going back to the dugout.
Wow, that is going to be, if he keeps this up, one of the gutsiest performances we've ever seen. Let's take a look at this after the bunt. No even attempt to run.
That's probably why he wasn't swinging away. Now, I know the bunt was probably called for there anyway, Greg, but as you mentioned at the top, he is one of the leading hitters in the area and definitely in the City League. And certainly somebody that you'd like to have swinging the bat.
Yeah, it's an open question as to what's more of a loss. His pitching, which he has still somehow been able to pitch effectively for 2 innings, or losing that bat at the top of the order. Blocked, and Willits gets down to third base, blocked but not controlled. And for the 3rd straight inning, St. John's has a real threat going here.
Well, this is a double threat because he's at third base with less than 2 outs. And to show you the importance, Greg, of 1 run in this game, this is the 3rd inning, and Perrysburg is playing their infield in to try to cut this run down.
Matt Vollmer at the plate, headed for Findlay next year.
This is three straight opportunities now that St. John's had to score. And, you know, even though Colby made that stop there, Greg, you got to credit Willits, who was reading that pitch at second base, and he was following the flight of the ball, and he saw the ball heading into the ground. So he took off anticipating the ball hitting the ground. And when you do that as a base runner, even if the catcher does keep it in front of him, there's no way he's going to be able to throw you out. So that's good heads-up base running right there. Good instincts.
Fouled off by Vollmer. We talked about how he had tweaked his hamstring and had gotten over it and ran really well down first base line. And he sacrificed Adams over to second, and no sooner noted that than similar thing befell Adams.
Well, we'll see if Schmink comes with his classic bill of the cap fastball right here. He's been getting the St. John's hitters to chase that high heater with 2 strikes.
And there's strike 3. And really, that was well out of the strike zone. And another instance where an outstanding hitter is not able to bring a runner in scoring position home. The first was Pearson, who struck out last time, and now Vollmer strikes out.
They went a little high and away that time and got Vollmer to chase.
Pearson's got another opportunity here. They're going to pitch to him, and he hits it, inches it past the mound, trying to get down to first, but yeah, a little bit more speed maybe, but a good play over there by Kevin Schenk to end the inning. Still no score after 2.5.
Life's journey is more rewarding when you know your goals and learn how to reach them. That's how young men prepare at St. Francis de Sales High School.
At St. Francis, we want to help students discover that they're stronger and better than they think they are.
The blend of personal discipline and character, along with supporting the team, produces a real victory that lasts long after any game is over. It produces a St. Francis night.
Your journey starts here at St. Francis.
Save more at the Monroe Superstore this week. You own a brand new 2011 Dodge Caliber Express, equipped, not stripped, for only $205 a month. That's right, 0 down, sign and drive, only $205. Let's review the facts. Save more when you enjoy 32 miles per gallon for only $205 a month. And that's 0 down, sign and drive. And this car is equipped, not stripped. Enjoy 4 oil changes at no charge. And this includes a 100,000-mile warranty. View hundreds of vehicles and videos at MonroeDodge.com.
Ready for the last half of the 3rd. Another look at the throng here at Stellar Field on the campus of BGSU. No score, and Perrysburg will send up A.J. Stockwell, Alex Schmink, and Matt Garbig here. And we were talking between innings that this game is not really going in a way that augurs well for St. John's. Not only do they have Adams and his physical problems, but 3 innings in a row they failed to bring in runners in scoring situations potentially, and it's very rare that a team does that and comes out on top. But there's a great play by Dylan Willits as he robs Stockwell of a hit, diving to his right.
Well, actually, it's on the other side of the infield, which is Jimmy Scott. Scott, that ball was curving away from him too, coming off the left-handed hitter's bat and slicing towards the hole. I thought for sure, Greg, that was a base hit. He took a hit away there. And pressure, a little bit of pressure off of Adams because, you know, an early pitch out.
Apologies to Jimmy, and I make sure you give credit where it's due. At least I called the grand slam properly. Gave him due credit for that one. But that one is low.
Well, we have the ability to do makeup calls up here too, so we were able to pinpoint Jimmy on that play.
2-1 to Schmenk. Now Willits with a chance. And moves to his right. Great play by Scott there. There's 2 down. Now we're even.
Well, when you're the Keystone combination like that, you're kind of interchangeable anyhow.
Yeah, big key for a baseball team is that their Keystone combo doesn't play like the Keystone Cops.
Well, they haven't so far this inning.
2 very fine plays moving to their right. Shortstop and second base, and that was inside to Garbick, who singled on that ball that dropped between the 3 fielders who stood agape as the ball fell to the grass.
There you go,
Outside.
Niner! There you go, Niner!
Well, that's big, Greg.
Gave him the corner, though.
2 quick outs here.
So far.
As you mentioned, the fewer pitches that he has to throw, the better off he's going to be.
So far, Adams is pitching very efficiently. Probably the most efficiently we've seen him. Going back to the previous game.
Well, he had that one little blurb last inning, 4-pitch walk.
His breaking pitch is working pretty well.
Yeah, he's had command of his pitches today, and his last couple of starts,
Take him down, 9.
he's at times lost that command, and then inexplicably he'd get it back. He has a great knack for being able to do that.
And that ball is roped to center field, but right there to Liam Allen, well positioned. 3 in the books. Still no score. A pitching duel just like we envisioned.
It's all in front of you, and it's all at BGSU. Nationally acclaimed for teaching undergraduate students, for first-year programs, and for learning communities. Education that paves the way to all the places waiting to be discovered when you take on the world. Bowling Green State University. Education that challenges, inspires, and empowers. Education worth celebrating.
Burned out with your weekend cookout? House of Meats can help. Save this week on a family pack of baby back ribs, only $2.99 a pound at House of Meats.
Top half of the 4th, and we talked about how things weren't really boding too well for St. John's, but with the kind of defense they've turned in, that is boding well for them.
Well, he has confidence in his defense, and he knows that if he can keep the ball in the strike zone, which sometimes he has a problem doing that, and take the sting out of the opposition's bat, that his defense will come through for him. And that time, very economical with his pitches. Line drive to shortstop, ground ball to second, fly ball to center, and he's out of the inning. You don't have to strike everybody out.
He's given up a walk, and he's given up that hit that landed between 3 fielders. Maybe the only time the defense let him down, and it didn't go as an error, but other than that, he's been perfect. And big swing by Ben Nevers and missed.
And that play, Greg, is one of the reasons why a lot of the baseball statisticians would like to see a team error established, so that you could give a team an error, not punish the pitcher by giving him getting charged with a hit and maybe eventually a run, when actually the team should have performed behind him.
I'd say there is a glaring issue there when a ball like that has to be charged a hit, when clearly it was as big a mistake as dropping the ball ever would be. As a matter of fact, like to ask old John McGraw, he'd say that the error that was made when those 3 players let that ball drop was a lot worse than the guy who just dropped the ball and made a mechanical mistake.
Yes, because it was a lack of communication, not working together, and you know, just not being focused on the job at hand. That's why it should go as a team error.
See, never get on you for a mechanical error, just mental errors. Went outside.
Let's go, Benny Niles.
Although he was very magnanimous toward Fred Merkel of Toledo for maybe the worst in baseball history. There's a line shot and another fine play. Shortstop's really putting on a show this time. Kevin Schenk, who made that one throwing error, he's made 2 fine defensive plays since then.
Well, Nevers put a charge into that one, but Kevin Schenk, a tall, lean shortstop, able to use that length to call that line drive in. Not an easy play. It may have seemed like it was hit right at him, but those are still tough plays because that ball coming pretty quick and also moving too.
You can take your glove off too. No balls and a strike as Gene Scott is at the plate. He made a great defensive play, very similar to the one that we just saw in the previous half inning. Outside for a ball and a strike. St. John's continues to hit the ball hard. You see Scott's numbers, 22 RBIs. That RBI total took a real jump. That grand slam that he hit against Springfield. That was really the turning point of that game. That was a very close game. Springfield even had an early lead, which was their big goal in that game, but the grand slam made it 5-1 and broke up the ball game at that point.
I'll tell you what, Schmink is doing a good job of changing the eye level on these St. John's hitters. Pitch before that, high fastball up in the zone, then he comes back with another fastball down on the knees. And that really keeps the batter from focusing on a particular spot in the strike zone that a pitcher might be trying to pound.
2-2 fouled off. Ottawa Hills again had their game against Stryker in the Division 4 regional semi called off. They're going to try for the 3rd time to play that game tomorrow. Southview Bowling Green softball game also scheduled for this time. Swung on and missed. And Scott is out. And there's 2 down. Corey Tipton, the batter.
Yeah, Mr. Schmink going to the whip here, Greg.
Hey, we go, Tip.
Seeing a lot of number 1s being put down there by Zach Colby.
You know, Matt Krusel is the man who'll be called on in relief if necessary. He's really the one who's been noted for maybe having tough starts, but then getting better as the game goes on. But certainly Schmink, I think, as well. That ball is fouled out of play by Tipton. St. John's may live to rue the fact that they did not get any runs in when they had all those early chances, because Schmink looks like he's getting stronger as he goes along, too.
Well, and he's got to feel confident, a little more confident in the fact that he's dodged 3 innings of bullets where he could have been touched up for a run, and it's still a goose egg on the scoreboard.
They're testing the shortstops. This time a slow roller, charging. Schenk with a good play to retire the side. 1-2-3 goes St. John's. 3.5 in the book, still no score.
Savings and value is what Toyota does best. After all, Toyota is the most fuel-efficient full-line auto manufacturer in the industry. And we have the lowest ownership cost of any full-line car brand. Now you can lease this new 2011 Corolla for just $189 a month, this 2011 Camry for just $209 a month, or this 2011 Sienna for $299 a month. We're number 1 for a reason. Come see for yourself. Hurry in for the best selection.
I've seen so many people whose lives have been changed in an instant.
Whether a defective product, a construction, semi, or auto accident, their lives changed forever.
Someone else was responsible, and innocent lives were torn apart. It's just not right.
That's why I'm so committed to what I do.
I'm an attorney with Gallon Tackus, Boyes & Alton Schaefer.
We fight to protect our clients and their families' rights to compensation, now and for the future.
Seriously injured? Call us. we can help.
Have you captured a game-winning play or spirit in the stands? We want to see it. Enter your best game day picks in BCSN's fantastic photo contest and win. Submit your best and you could win a flip cam and a spot in BCSN's calendar. Visit www.bcsn.tv to enter. Deadline May 31st. That's Tuesday. So get that great action shot here in the next couple of days. Maybe even yet this afternoon. And outside, Adams pitching to Matt Krusel, the leadoff hitter, and another pitcher extraordinaire for the Perrysburg Yellow Jackets with an ERA of a half a run per outing. One ball, one strike. And one thing we were talking about before, as we see this ball hit to Scott, have to throw it from the hole, and he does it very nicely. And there's one down. We saw that between pitches, Jesse Adams is really having some problems. He couldn't even run after he bunted the ball, and yet he's pitching so well. Now he can't even move, and yet he's pitching so well. How's he doing that?
Well, he's at least got enough feeling in there that he can battle through it, but he's not overthrowing. He's had to pitch at a different pace and not try to throw the ball as hard. You notice he's throwing a lot of breaking pitches. His curveball is working very well, especially against the left-handers. But when you're not throwing as hard, you sometimes have a lot better control.
Zach Colby flies to left, and Matt Ballmer is there to make the catch. And that will bring up Steve Slocum. I mentioned hitting at 422. Last year, Steve Slocum had just an unbelievable year. He hit, in fact, 2 years ago it was, as a sophomore. He hit 534. That's a school record. So he's hitting at 422. How good did he hit that year? He's 112 points below what he was as a sophomore. Went in the dirt, but he's still a very dangerous hitter, obviously.
It's almost like when a hitter goes up trying to hit a home run, swinging real hard. It's much more advantageous to just try to make contact, just to get ball on bat. And it's amazing how much power you can produce. And it's the same way with pitching. If you try to overthrow or throw too hard, you have a tendency to lose your rhythm, get out of the strike zone.
Ball four, 2-out walk, and again, you don't want to read too much into that from Adams' standpoint, because made a few of those even when he didn't have any kind of issues as far as his mobility out there. He's really stepped into the breach this year. They lost a couple of outstanding pitchers from last year, filed back. Daniel McKinney, UM recruit, transferred to Bowling Green, was 8-0 last year for St. John's, and Zach Leffler also, he was a top pitcher for them, and they weren't really sure who was going to emerge into that #1 role. And Adams not only did it, but I'd say you have to say he even exceeded the performance of those two outstanding pitchers that they lost from a year ago.
Well, I'm sure they're very happy with the way things turned out this year with Adams being their #1. There's that off-speed breaking pitch again to the left-handed hitters. They're having a lot of difficulty with that. Now with 2 outs here, 2 strikes on the hitter, sometimes you like to send your runner here. At least you have a good hitter coming up leading off the next inning. Try to get him down in the scoring position. There they go.
A great throw, and I thought he might have had him. The ball popped free. Now he tries to take third, and this time they do have him. A rather wacky kind of a play, but it finally results in Slocum being thrown out, not at second, but at third. He might have been out there. The ball was kicked free. Might not have been the best thing to try to advance, and he finally was retired. Crazy play, still no score.
Looking for a quality education that's affordable? Discover Lourdes College, voted best college in the Midwest. With academic programs of excellence, numerous bachelor's and master's degree programs, and a nationally recognized faculty, our focus is on your success. At Lord's, you'll receive a values-based education with a personal touch. Discover small class sizes, affordable tuition, exciting athletics, and apartment-style housing. Discover your place, Lord's College.
Hey, if you're looking for a great used vehicle and a great price and a fair deal, come straight to Ballas on the Central Avenue Strip. We've had some fantastic trade-ins come through our lot recently, so you'll find values like these. An 07 Buick LaCrosse, only $11,995. Or an 08 GMC Envoy SLE 4x4, only $18,975. Both GM certified, bumper to bumper. Our specialty is serving our customers with the finest reconditioned cars in the area. We'll stake our reputation on it.
BCSN, available exclusively on Buckeye Cable System, is presented by Lord's College. Discover Lord's College. TAS Electronics. And by Monroe Superstore, Dodge Chrysler Jeep.
Perrysburg violated one of the commandments of baseball. Thou shalt not be thrown out of an inning at third base. Run yourself out of a potential rally. And they really didn't have to do that, especially with 2 outs. Taking that extra base wasn't really that vital. Here's a high fly ball to left. Austin Lee moving over and making the catch to retire Joe Roby. Starting to St. John's 5th.
No, they had accomplished what they wanted to do with 2 outs. Make that attempt to steal at second. The worst that could happen is he gets thrown out and the batter comes up next inning with a fresh count. But they got a bonus because they got the steal of second base. But then, you know, you can't blame the base runner too much because he thought he had a good chance of getting to third when he saw the ball roll away.
But of course, in the next inning, ball gets by the catcher. He scores. It's a 1-run game, and they say, boy, that was a brilliant call.
Well, I thought about that because it was going to have to be a quick throw. And I believe it was Willits that made the throw at second base. When the ball skipped away, I think Willits made the throw covering over from second base. And I thought to myself as he was heading towards third, one of 2 things going to happen here. He's either going to be thrown out or that ball's going to get past the third baseman and he'll score.
In fact, I remember having a lengthy on-air debate with Mike Blay about that very thing when a game ended, when a guy was thrown out trying to steal third. And the pitcher had been throwing a dominant game, and basically the debate centered around, hey, the way things were going, you probably had a better chance of maybe they make a mistake throwing the ball down to third than you do getting the pitcher for a run. And it was a good gamble to take. There's strike 3 called, and Liam Allen is out.
Well, Schmenk has really been pitching with a lot of confidence, Greg. And again, changing the eye level of hitters. There's a fastball on the outside corner. And the makings of a quick inning here for Schmenk, getting the first hitter here this inning on a fly ball to left early in the count.
Willits hits it foul. You know, you think about the pitching situation of Perrysburg, where they threw a couple of their big arms Monday and Tuesday to secure an NLL League championship. That's something they haven't won since 2003, so it was a big accomplishment for them. It was the last time they made the state semifinals as well. But also, I think the confidence they have in Schmenk, that they put him out there and he'd be able to throw many good innings and possibly a complete game. And I think that was another function of that decision.
Well, I'm sure that really played into the decision making. I'll tell you what, he's been getting guys that hit the ball on the fist, Greg.
Pop up, and that one is caught. The side retired as Schenk puts it away after 4.5. Still goose eggs all around.
Savings and value is what Toyota does best. After all, Toyota is the most fuel-efficient full-line auto manufacturer in the industry. And we have the lowest ownership cost of any full-line car brand. Save big on Highlander, an excellent value. RAV4, the best overall value of the year. Or get any new 2011 Sienna and get 2.9 financing for 60 months. We're #1 for a reason. Come see for yourself. Hurry in for the best selection.
Here at the Museum of Business as Usual, they archive the items of business that just didn't work. Today, we look at the coffee helmet. The coffee helmet attempted to increase productivity by doubling your coffee intake. Epiphany does business unusual, giving you a better way to increase productivity by allowing you to set up how, when, and where you want to be reached. We call this Reach Me, and it's one of over 70 features that will help you go from business as usual to business unusual.
What we're seeing, and I think probably a lot of people felt that that's what we would see, is a string of zeros on both sides. We mentioned 2 pitchers at the ERA is just scant over 1 run, earned run a game. And even despite Adams pulling up kind of lame in the first half inning, you'd never know it just to look at him pitch.
Yes, he's really battled through. This has really been a gutsy performance from the first inning on.
He fields the ball, and he had to plant to make that fire over to first, but he did it well. And Hunter Smith is retired.
I was wondering how long Coach Hall was going to take to try and bunt down the third base line to make Adams come off the mound and make a throw.
Just grimacing.
You know that had to be taxing on him. That's a great play, great call there by Coach Hall. It just didn't work out in his favor. I think he wanted that ball a little bit farther towards the line, where Adams would have to run a little bit farther, and then, as you said, have to turn and plant and spin off of that bad hip.
That ball had some pepper on it, and Ryan Young fouled it off, but he really brought it. It's just really something to watch. Adams seemed to strain between every pitch, but then when it's time to deliver, he's right there again. That one's fouled off. But you wonder if he's going to get to the point where he's going to lose something from that. And St. John's, they maybe need to get to Schmenk as soon as possible if they're going to get to him because of that.
Well, I've been watching him between pitches, and he after that pitch there, Greg, and that was a breaking pitch, and sometimes the pitch before that was a fastball, a little more fluid. You have to come on top a little bit more with that curveball and a little bit change in your delivery. But he was
really came with the heat again. Strike 3.
But he was really limping around after the last pitch. And I think what he's doing, Greg, and here we see is nice smooth motion, follow through, and a fastball again with 2 strikes. That classic high fastball up around the eyes. You just can't get on top of it.
Here's Schenk, who made a throwing error, but since then has made some really fine defensive plays. Batting just a 220 this year, but it hit 295 a year ago. And he knows what to do with the bat. He's capable of coming up with a big hit at any time. 2-1.
He's working quick too, Craig.
It's probably another thing. He just wants to not really dwell on whatever pain he's got right now.
Exactly. Try to keep your mind off of it.
Schenk is the best fielding shortstop Coach Hall says he's ever coached. Popped that one up, and is caught by Scott, and this pitching battle just continues to get more engrossing. After 5, still no score.
With Buckeye Cable System, you don't have to worry about the weather. You get reliable service, rain or shine.
Come see what's new at the Anderson's Garden Centers. There are plants here you just won't find anywhere else. We carry over 150 varieties of annual flowers, and they're all Ohio grown. 75 varieties of tomatoes and peppers, 85 different homegrown gourmet vegetables, over 100 different styles of hanging baskets, more than 600 varieties of perennials, and our experts know every plant we sell. It's garden season, and we're ready to grow at the Andersons.
Move to the top half of the 6. Jesse Adams. It's like they're not really having to be all that solicitous about his condition here between innings. We have a pinch hitter now. It is Troy Maurer coming up. Or I should say, go to the St. John's side. It is announcing it right here. Graham Wood coming up to pinch hit. And he is a senior. He is hitting for Adams.
Well, they'll use the re-entry rule here. Smart move here by DJ Eckhart. Why risk damaging if he can't swing the bat? And I think that would probably put a lot of extra torque on that lower back. If all he can do is bunt, he might as well put a pinch hitter in there and have to hit in the head. I don't know whether that's what was in the script, but
get on any way you can.
Wow, thank goodness that was just a glancing blow off the bill, but I'm sure that as that ball approached his, goodness gracious.
Yeah, that dent was not put there by the ball, but it could very easily could have been. And now Vollmer is up. Obvious that they didn't want Adams up there hitting with his inability to run.
I've had that happen, and it's so scary because you're just getting away in time. So you're the last thing you see is a baseball that looks as big as a grapefruit right in front of your face. And that's pretty scary stuff.
Coming at you, rapid velocity. Vollmer up now. Let's see if he tries for the sacrifice again. No, he's swinging away. No balls and a strike.
Well, he did this the first time, Craig, in the first inning. They had him swing away on the first pitch after Adams had reached base, and then they had him bunt on the second pitch and see if they follow the same pattern.
Yes, indeed. This one has popped up. This is more what was happening to them in the earlier game, the districts. And Schmink makes the catch. One thing you had been pointing out a couple of times during the course of the game is that St. John's, as we see here, this popped up bunt, but the runner was very close back to the bag. No chance to double him off, but they've been going after bad pitches a lot in this game.
Yes, I think being a little over anxious, although when you're facing a really good pitcher and you know he's got good control, you know he's going to be around the plate, sometimes it's you tell your players, hey, go up there and take your hacks, because you know he's going to be around the plate. But Schmink has been really coy. He's been changing the eye level and moving the ball up and down, and knowing that they're chasing being aggressive hitters, making them swing at his pitch. And many times we've seen here the St. John's players popping the ball up, hitting something up in the zone, or going after that pitch on the fists, not being as patient as maybe they could be.
Pearson hasn't been able to drive the ball as he's used to so far in the game. He's outside. He had a ball that jammed him in on the fists, and he almost was able to beat it out for a hit last time anyway.
Put a little rage in the baseball for me one time.
Another good play was made by Kevin Schenk, one of several fine defensive efforts, particularly by the shortstops in this game. 1-1. Pearson going after that one outside corner and fouled it off. 1-2. And again, Schmink, as good as he is even better when he's working ahead in the count like this.
Well, in the pitcher's count, he can move the ball around where he wants it. He can either bring it up here if he wants, or jam him, take him outside. Looks like they're going to work him outside.
And that one is hit to short, almost muscled through the long throw. And again, they just get him at first base. Pearson thought he beat it out. And E.J. Eckhart is going to come over here to, I think, plead the same case.
Wow, that was a very close play. And they did take the ball away. Remember, I told you earlier, Pearson has changed his hitting over the last couple of years. He'll use the whole field, and he went the other way with that pitch. Nice job there by Schenk to keep it in the infield. And he made a one-hop throw that I think...
what do you think? I got my idea.
I think DJ's got a case.
I thought maybe he did get him by an eyelash. Let's see.
It's really tough to Boy, I think
that time I thought he got there by that, so that shows how close it was.
Just the fact, you know, the first baseman, Greg, had to catch the ball deep because it was taking a big hop. He couldn't reach out and make what usually is the stretch reach. The ball had to come to him, and I think just that action of it, and I think DJ's saying he was bobbling the ball too in his midsection. See here. Yeah, see the ball kind of I see what his call is. The ball kind of rolls up his arm.
I'm not sure he had total control there.
He did not have, he had the ball on his wrist, which the first baseman could not see. And he's asking the home plate umpire, or he's asking if he could help out.
Well, he's not giving up the discussion, that's for sure.
Well, the home plate umpire could help if the first base umpire asked for help. DJ can't ask him to overrule the first base umpire, but he's letting the first base umpire know again what he feels about it.
Getting a little bit demonstrative there.
Well, Coach Eckhart had a view of it because he's looking across from the other side of the field, and he could see the ball kind of roll up his wrist a little bit.
He's a real class act as a coach. Dave Whitmire made a special point of saying how much he respects Coach Eckhart before that Springfield game, and he definitely feels very strongly about it, as you see.
Well, there's a lot on the line here. I mean, this is district semifinals. See the ball take the hop, and it rolled up into his midsection.
Yeah, I think it's almost impossible to tell based on did the ball arrive first or the runner, but that aspect, and I think he won the argument. They got a runner taking first base.
No, they put.
No. That's right. They put on the next batter. Nevers is used to having Pearson he put on. He kept that going. I thought they said, the umpire did help him out, but they intentionally put on Nevers.
Yeah, they're going to put set up a
and that
force
brings
here.
Up Scott. I wouldn't have been surprised the way that was going, that they would have said, you know what? Maybe we were hasty about that call. And the first pitch is a strike to Scott.
Well, lost in that, too, again, was the great play by Schenk, who went into the hole and bobbled the ball. And, of course, we saw this earlier. Maybe anybody else but Pearson, and that play's not even close.
They just say the word and put the runner on. They don't have to make the balls. In softball, it's different. They actually have to make the 4 balls, and that actually, we're talking to one of the coaches, that resulted in a winning run being scored in a game when a ball was thrown away on an intentional walk inadvertently. Here they just say the word, and there you go. That ball is hit out to right field, battling it just a little bit, but the ball brought in by Steve Slocum, and again St. John's comes up empty after 5.5, still no score.
Keep your older car running longer for less with Cherry Picked Auto Parts. Bring your tools along because you pick the parts from thousands of cars parked out on the lot. Most models from the 80s and 90s, as well as older and newer models, are on the lot. Find the parts that you need. Tires, wheels, batteries, fenders, radiators, mufflers, bumpers, and more. Cherry Picked Auto Parts is open 7 days a week, 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. all year long. So don't get nicked at some old junkyard pit. Buy the parts that you need at Cherry Picked.
The all-new Chrysler 200 for only $200 a month, and that's 0 down, sign and drive. That's right. Save more at the Monroe Superstore when you enjoy the all-new Chrysler 200 imported from Detroit for only $200 a month. Let's review the facts. Enjoy 31 miles per gallon. Enjoy your first 4 oil changes at no charge. Only $200 a month. Leave your checkbook at home at 0 down, sign and drive. And this deal is for everyone. Check out all the great deals at MonroeDodge.com.
That lone baseball, it's got about the best seat in the house for this game as it was fouled up onto the screen. You want to shimmy out and get that, Rick?
Found it? No.
I was trying to invite you to.
Found a nice resting spot.
Yeah, see the discussion going on still with DJ Eckhart. We've got a pinch hitter coming up for Perrysburg, as it will be Dylan Grieselding coming to bat for A.J. Stockwell here.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please.
I think as you were mentioning there in that previous play with Nate Pearson at first, really the thought was that the umpire wasn't in good position to see whether the ball was controlled or not. And that DJ Eckhart was suggesting that maybe another one of the umpires would have been. in a position to see that.
Yeah, you would ask the umpire to ask one of his teammates there to help with the call.
Gave him a little bit of a shave there.
Watch out. Watch for a bunt here, possibly. Yeah, he didn't shorten up there, but the third baseman Nevers is shaking hands with him. He's thinking bunt.
That one is low, 2-1. I think if you edited this together so that all you looked at was one pitch right after the other, nothing between pitches, you'd never suspect there was anything wrong with Adams. It's only when you see sometimes laboring between pitches and not running and in the dugout with the masseuse that you would suspect something was wrong. Here it is to the mound. He whirls and he lost the ball. And I don't know, he's limping a little bit there again. I wonder if he was thinking so much about the planning of the foot that he forgot to control the ball.
Coach Eckhart's going to go out and talk to him a little bit. See what, it was just too quick, Greg. He was trying to turn and throw the ball before he had it. See that happen, that classic mistake. Many a player has been in that boat before, where they've tried to get rid of the ball too soon, get the ball first and then throw it. It's something you tell young players all the time.
You put that one little extra thing on your mind in addition to that, and sometimes that's all it takes.
Well, you know, he's thinking too that you got a batter runner that's got good speed, and that he may have to hurry the play a little bit. But right now, this kind of puts him in the hole.
One of the few times, in fact, that's the first time in the game that the leadoff batter has gotten a board for Perrysburg in this entire game.
Well, now definitely the bunt is in order again, and St. John's is setting up their bunt defense. Looks like the second baseman, Willits, will be doing the charging from the right side as Pearson holds the runner on at first, and Nevers is going to be inching in from third base.
There goes the bunt. Willits fields it over to Pearson, and the sacrifice works. Runner down to second base, and good sacrifice by Schmink.
Exactly, good execution. Something that Perrysburg is noted for. They like to use the bunt.
Now it's Matt Garbick. Early on, he wore the goat's horns and dropped a pop fly in the first inning. He's played extremely well since then. Now he's got a chance to really exchange them for a hero's mantle as he fouls this one off 0-1. There'll be very little chance for St. John's to regroup if Perrysburg does score here. They'll only have one more at bat. Perrysburg, just the second time in the game they've gotten to scoring position. St. John's 4 times they've come up empty. Does that stay fair? Yes. Nope. Boy, I thought for a moment that it had gone right over the bag. The Perrysburg fans were in ecstasy there. Let's take another look at it.
It stays just to the left of the bag, and the third base umpire will go, nope. Both hands in the air, signaling time, and he's somebody is giving him a little needle down there at the third base line. But he was in good position there to make that call.
It looked like it was a little to the left of the bag, but sometimes you never know. Just a piece of that ball was over it. And it happens again, just a blink of an eye. No balls and 2 strikes on Garbick, 1 for 2 in the game at the one, that pop fly that dropped between 3 defenders.
Well, so far, that's kept this game scoreless. That little good snap throw down there.
Dangerous, though.
It's a dangerous throw, but Tipton is a very good catcher, has a good arm. Willits, there was a play on because Willits was racing to the bag.
2-2, high chopper. And looks him back, then fires it across, and a good stretch there by Pearson as Nevers A good job freezing the runner and then making a good throw.
And it looked like he had to freeze him twice because the runner was kind of deking him like, hey, I'm going to come. Nice play down at first base by Pearson to stretch on the inside of the bag and stay on the bag.
It's a good throw in the sense that it was catchable.
Yes.
But still required a good stretch on the part of Pearson. So here we go now. The batter is put on.
Well, Kruzl's a good hitter, one of the better hitters in the Perrysburg lineup, and with first base open in this situation, it's a logical move. Set up. Colby's a good hitter too.
They walk him to go to the cleanup hitter who's got the top average on the team, but he's also a left-handed batter against a left-handed pitcher.
Yeah,
sharing a smile there. It's nice to see a pitcher with all this pressure on, not bothered by it.
Well, you set up a force. You have the extra percentage of the left-hander versus left-hander in this situation.
High, still crackling in with that fastball. He can raise his velocity when necessary. He can reach back for that something extra. Somewhere between 80 and 86. Fastball for Adams, a high hop. That is playable. Tipton hovering under it, makes the grab. And St. John's escapes trouble. We go to the 7th, still no score.
Not much has changed over the years with a traditional bank, but Glass City Federal Credit Union has come a long way, and we continue to improve our services based on your needs. Glass City is just like your bank, but we're better because guess who owns us? You do, making us truly locally owned and operated, offering all the same services as your bank, but you're the boss. Switch your accounts to Glass City Federal Credit Union and experience great service in the banking industry. We're working for you.
Life's journey is more rewarding when you have good direction. That's what young men find at St. Francis de Sales High School.
It's learning about ourselves and others through our service and our faith. Good morning, gentlemen.
It's a quest that begins with individual development, leads through group projects, and toward global outreach. What starts here can take a St. Francis night anywhere.
Your journey starts here at St. Francis.
Both pitchers going into their best Houdini acts here, as every time, and there have been several times that the opposing team is threatened, but they have not been able to score a run as yet. Interesting on that pop fly that the catcher ended up making that catch.
Yeah, it hung up there a long time, and he was doing a little, I hate to say it, rain dance under it. But yeah, you'd like to see the third baseman in that situation come in and kind of take charge. He's got a mitt that's a little bit more designed for catching pop-ups. Plus, he's followed the flight of the ball since it's left the bat. The catcher doesn't see that pop-up till after it's already been up there for a while. So, but a great play by Tipton. I'll tell you what, here you can see Tipton kind of dancing around there a little bit. There's Never saying, hey, nice job. Way to go. But you know what? We're not down in the field, so Tipton could have been hollering all the way, and Nevers might have just stayed away to avoid it.
The third baseman did have a longer run for the ball than the catcher, so that's one of those things that's kind of in a gray area. Outside, too, you may just know that your catcher's kind of a take charge
Well, he's a good
player.
catcher. He's a good catcher.
He's going to do that. 1-0 up high to leadoff batter Corey Tipton. There we go again. Leading, I don't know if you call that like a five-star play, but there was, when you consider all the pressure and when you consider how players have struggled with pop flies in this game, I would say that was a big defensive play, and he's leading off the inning in accordance with baseball lore.
I would concur with that. I think that was a big defensive play. You're not giving the batter another opportunity.
Back to the screen. Roby and Liam Allen, the next two hitters. Tipton himself at 379. This is great, consistent hitting through the St. John's order. Weak spots. Out on the ball, and that one fouled off.
Well, we certainly have seen a great pitcher's duel here today. We anticipated that could happen
we were worried it might not when Adams got hurt.
Right.
That did not prove to be the case at all. He's pitched an outstanding game.
He's been very gutsy as well as Schmenk, because he's pitched out of jams. You know, it's been stressful innings and pitches for Schmenk too.
And that one is laid just foul down the right field line. That's what it's going to take. Just one play like that where they manage to keep the ball fair and, you know, go for extra bases. Adams, again, just socializing, and I don't know who that he's speaking with, but at least he doesn't look like he's
that's another medical
pain.
person.
I had a feeling maybe it was.
It's another medical person that's made his way into the dugout.
That one is fouled. Once again out of play, so the count stays 2-2. But he doesn't look like, in that first inning when he went over, I mean, he really looked like he was in pain. Here he looks like he's reached a certain comfort level. But they're still, you know, keeping tabs on the situation. But his pitching, as we said, has been remarkable under the circumstances. There's another little dribbler, and Schmenk is right on top of it. Perrysburg's infield has reacted very well to a number of those kind of hit balls. And now Roby is up.
Now Schmenk fields his position well. Absal gets himself set. He just a little flick of this little sidearm motion there. Kind of unusual throw to first base.
Mentioned he's going to the University of Toledo next year, and after some years where UT's pitching was a bit suspect, all of a sudden they've vastly improved in that department, and I think Schmenk is going to be another one who will help them to continue that trend. As Roby is up.
Well, he throws strike one there, which is key to any pitcher. Get ahead in the count.
Now he's up 0-2.
And when you're working strike one a lot in a game, that means that you're cruising along, you're in command, and it sets up all your other pitches. Puts the hitter in the hole.
About UT's improvement with Schmenk coming there. Bowling Green qualified for the MAC tournament again this year. They got a really good young squad playing here at this facility, looking for some good things in the future as well under Coach Danny Schmitz, who is here today, and he's done a great job over the years, as UT has, in giving opportunities for area stars to come into their programs. Ground ball to short. Schmenk fires it over, and Roby is retired. 2 up, 2 down. And it'll be a regulation shutout here for Schmenk. Perrysburg at a point during this year where just about every game they were pitching was a shutout. And the pitchers were actually, they would razz each other when they gave up a hit, to say nothing of a run. But they really pushed each other in a very positive way, trying to match each other. And one guy throws a shutout, next guy comes in and tries to do the same.
Well, that's the way that great pitching staff was in Atlanta with Smoltz and Maddox and Glavin. They were always pushing each other and always trying to outdo each other, and that just made each one of them better. They would really get on each other about their hitting. That was the funny part. They'd really get on each other about their trips to the plate, almost more than their pitching ability. But
there's Liam Allen there. We mentioned his father, Lloyd, was a major leaguer. He played for the Rangers and the White Sox and was drafted by the Angels, the 9th overall pick. He's considered quite a prospect. I still kind of think those Indian staffs in the 50s was the best pitching staff of all time. We had Feller and
Garcia
and Lemon and Garcia.
Yeah,
I'd put them up against those Braves.
Yeah.
Hurlers you just mentioned. The 2-1 swung on. That ball is hit. The outfielder slips at Austin Lee, but he recovers and gets to the ball and makes the catch. That looked like it could have been disastrous for Perrysburg for a moment, but it just goes a long out. Still no score, heading to the last of the 7th.
Welcome to the new Appliance Center Home Store, the greatest furniture showroom in Ohio. We're the area's Tempur-Pedic mattress headquarters. Plus, see Simmons, Rustonic, and more. Choose from over 200 mattresses in stock. Right now, queen mattress sets starting at just $265. Plus, 2 years same as cash on select mattresses. Free same-day delivery, setup, and recycling. The new Appliance Center Home Store, Ohio's greatest home furnishing destination.
Great education is about opportunity. Opportunity to become all you can be. Toledo Christian Schools inspire academic and personal growth. We're large enough to offer dynamic opportunities, but small enough to guarantee personal attention and excellence in a vibrant Christian atmosphere. Find out why a Toledo Christian education is right for you.
See for yourself on our website. Visit ToledoChristian.com.
Toledo Christian Schools, building strong minds and strong faith.
Enjoy local sports live or on demand from any computer in the world with BCSN Vision. Visit bcsn.tv. Click on the BCSN Vision tab to learn more. Buckeye Express customers experience BCSN Vision at no cost. Take advantage of it today. There's a familiar face, another coach in the stands, and Ed Heinschel. Of course, St. John's taking his team into the track conference next year. Speaking of BCSN Vision, I got to ask Lee Conklin if you watched Jake on BCSN Vision when he was in China. He tested out any computer in the world.
Yeah, well, if he knew that it was available, he probably did. But we will have to check with Lee if he's still around.
Here we go. Last of the 7th. A run is the ball game here for Perrysburg as Slocum leads things off. He'll be followed to the plate by Hunter Smith and Ryan Young. 0-1, quickly 0-2. So both pitchers still showing great command, still getting ahead in the count.
Boy, what a ball game. Just exactly what you expect in a regional semifinal against two top teams like St. John's and Perrysburg.
Inside. I hope we don't go about 16 innings and then have rain come. It's nothing. Nothing decided.
Yeah, might be dark before that.
Yeah. I don't know, at the rate they're going, they get quite a few more innings in. And that one fouled into the dirt. There's a lot of extra pressure on now. And still, Adams, between pitches, you can see something is amiss. And then he goes right back to work. And there's no evidence of it. And he burns it in for strike 3. That's a big first out against the player that we said earlier holds the Perrysburg single season record for batting average.
Well, he just puts a little bit more giddy up on that pitch on the inside part of the plate, which kind of ties him up inside. He just couldn't get the barrel around on it, couldn't get the hands pulled in.
That one fouled.
Oh boy, you know what, on that pitch right there, he actually showed, because he thought he was going to have to hop over and make a play on it, and Adams really grimaced. It's when he has to twist or turn or push in a way different from his pitching motion is when it bothers him. As long as he stays in the pitching motion, he seems to be comfortable, or at least semi-comfortable. It's after the motion and the walking and the turning and the twisting.
I start thinking about what could happen if they have to go to extra innings in the pitching situation. Of course, there's a game tomorrow, and that could certainly be a factor too. You got to get there first, of course. That one just missed the strike zone by an inch or two. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Smith, who struck out and grounded back to the mound. He hits that one in the air. And a long run in from left field, but a good one-handed catch made out there by Matt Ballmer. And there's 2 down.
And another person that's playing probably with a little bit of pain, trying to recover from a hamstring pull, and he's and again on a cold, damp day. You know, it's interesting, Greg, you see all these people here, they're all dressed for, you know, March Day. They have heavy coats on, and supposedly in 2 days it's going to be 90 degrees.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
And they'll all be in shorts and t-shirts.
Swung on and missed there. Or St. John's will be playing in the city tournament on Sunday. So they've got, if they were to win this game, they'd have another game tomorrow, then another game Sunday, and then as the #1 seed, they possibly have a game Monday before they maybe have a date in States, as it's 0-2 again to Ryan Young. And the pitchers just seems like almost habitually now are going up 0-2 in the count.
Yeah, both pitchers being able to get ahead of the hitters and pitch from pitchers' counts.
Adams just firing the ball by. A dominant inning there. Both pitchers throw complete game shutouts. We go to extras.
Looking for a complete picture of your money? Meet PNC Virtual Wallet. It comes with a calendar that shows you all your finances at once. It lets you know when your money's going out and when it's coming in. It even tells you when you're running low. We call that danger days. It's built to help you see your money in a whole new light. Experience everything Virtual Wallet has to offer at pncvirtualwallet.com. PNC Bank, for the achiever in you.
The green flag is dropped. Let's race to savings with Menards. Give wood fences, decks, and siding a finish that lasts with Thompson's Water Seal Stain. Semi-transparent is $9.97 a gallon after rebate. Solid color is $10.97 a gallon after rebate. Make your painting and staining projects easier with this Wagner Power Painter. With Optimus Dual Tip for better control, less overspray, and even coverage, it can be used for latex paint, stains, and sealers. $49 after rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Johns, the second baseman, Dylan Willens.
Look at this. Both teams held to one hit. St. John's hit was Adams, who led off the game with a little looping Texas leaguer to the opposite field. Since then, we've basically seen, if you say that's the mulligan, we've seen a no-hit game. On the other side, Garbick's hit was the one that dropped between three guys, any one of whom could have caught the ball, and you were talking about maybe calling it a team error. We've really seen two pitchers being that close to throwing a no-hit game. First batter here in the 8th, and there's a legitimate hit by Dylan Willets. And St. John's has the leadoff man on.
Legitimate hit, but again, on the handle and just enough oomph to get over the infield. Past the shortstop, Schenk, and in front of Krusel in center.
Well, they're not going to bat for Adams this time.
No, but Adams is going to be bunting, I'll guarantee you. See this ball just hanging, and
hey, he might try to be a Kirk Gibson.
Well, if he pulls a Kirk Gibson, then we'll all be in.
I'll say I do not believe what I just saw.
You can't use that same line though, Greg. You got to come up with something different.
Go to work, Dale, go to work, baby!
Well, let's
I don't
see what
think
happens.
that's going to happen, but you never know.
Well, I'd even let you use it. If it happens, I'll let you use it again.
All right, well, thank you.
That would be apropos. Because it would be tough to come up with something better.
Yeah, it's in honor.
In honor, yes.
Exactly.
He didn't show bunt there. He didn't slide the hand.
I'll use different inflection. How's that? 0-1. You got a 5-14 hitter up there. The question is, if he does get a hit, can he get to the base in time? You know, the kind of thing where he could get a hit to right field and be thrown out. You see in softball a lot of times.
He must have tried to swing the bat. Well, you know what? He's got a bat. They can't substitute for him again. You can't re-enter twice. He's already re-entered once. Ooh.
And he swung on miss. Down to second. The throw slides in just ahead of the tag. That was very close play. Willets in scoring position. St. John's for the 5th time has got a runner at least as far as second.
Well, and Adams really extended that swing to protect the runner, and that's a very close play at second. And see the umpire here, he's behind the runner.
But, you know, in the umpire's defense, they've had a lot of bang-bang calls in this game.
They're very close.
Watched that play at first base, and I couldn't tell after 5 times whether the ball or the runner got there. And then it was an issue of did he have control. Now this one, too, extremely close. Then there was the one that Adams stole that he wished he could take back, but he slid around the tag. He had to see that the tag wasn't applied.
Well, there's 2 strikes, but boy, if you could lay a bunt down here and get that runner to third, that would be huge.
He's going to try, but he popped it up. You know what? That hit the roof of the box up here. It sounded very much like the hailstones that were falling on the roof of my car on the way back from the lacrosse match the other day. And he bunts out on the 3rd strike.
Well, I thought that was a legitimate chance. You don't know how well he can swing the bat, and it would be huge to get that runner to third base with 1 out.
And you know he can't run, so
yeah, so that was
a good gamble. Ballmer's up. Pearson on deck. You can't ask for a better opportunity with a runner in scoring position if you're the Titans. That one fouled off, but Schmink's been tying even the best of the Titan hitters in knots.
Well, and he did there. Again, he got the ball in on the fist.
Yeah, they have this thing in vintage baseball called a courtesy runner. You hit the ball, and then you can stand at the plate and somebody run for you. If Pearson could have had that, he'd have 2 hits in this game.
Come on, Bobs. Here you go, kid. Here you go, kid.
He's on deck.
Come on, Bobs.
Well, this is a very tense moment in the game. A little bit of relief when they got Adams out without the runner advancing to third, which would have forced them to bring the infield in. That changes everything. They can still keep the infield back here.
I can't remember too many games at any level I've seen that was a better 2-man pitching duel than we've seen here today.
Oh, you're right.
We're mindful of when Hippo Vaughn and Fred Toney both threw no-hitters back in 1917. Only time it's happened in Major League Baseball history.
Look at him trying to stretch his back. Anything that. And he's a little upset at himself about maybe bunting at a pitch he thought might have been a little high.
0-1 to Vollmer. Again, the pitchers continue their habit of getting ahead in the count. Blocked. That's going to get that runner to third base as Colby couldn't find the ball. He was looking in dismay and shrugged his shoulders. Where is it? Finally hopped on it, but well after Willits had taken third. And now all they've got to do is put the ball in play, and there's a very good chance that St. John's can get that elusive first run.
Well, Schmink's been throwing these St. John's hitters a steady diet of fastballs and sliders. That time he went to curveball that broke down in the dirt. Colby tried to block it, but now this changes everything with the infield in. You know what, they're looking for a squeeze right there. They pitched out expecting a squeeze. I was thinking maybe the same thing. You know, Perrysburg likes to do that. And anything to get that run in.
Fouled out of play. Perrysburg last year won 26 games, second most in school history. But their season ended in the regional final.
And fans are really getting into it here, both sides. St. John's hoping for a fly ball or something to get that run in, and Perrysburg hoping for another big clutch pitching performance from their ace to get them out of the inning.
Lost to Olmsted Falls. Hard to believe they didn't win the NLL last year either. Swung on and missed. A big strikeout, and now it's down to Nate Pearson, one of the most dangerous hitters in the City League, against Alex Schmeck here with 2 out and the lead run 90 feet away. Pearson has come as close as you can get to base hits, and they might walk him. They've done it so often.
Well, Schmeck went to his bread and butter there, what he's been doing all day, going to that high fastball up in the zone.
Hit a pitch to him. And gets under it. Opposite foul. Mentioned Perrysburg last year. They beat Southview 3 times, twice in the regular season and once in the tournament, and still lost the NLL title to them. Pearson, those 2 ground outs, I think he was out by a combined total of a half a step. Outside. He just wants to hit one solid shot that he is so accustomed to doing.
He'll take a handle hit. He'll take anything.
Just hasn't been able to really hit the ball squarely, and hasn't been able to leg it out for hits.
Well, they're trying to get
it past the infield at least.
They're trying to feed on his aggressiveness here and trying to get him to chase.
And he gets under it. Positioning over to make the play, Slocum, and the inning's over. And once again, St. John's comes up short. Last of the 8, still no score.
Celebrate savings this Memorial Day with Banner's Made in America sale. Queen-size panel bed made in Galax, Virginia, just $469. Dual reclining sofa made in Pontotoc, Mississippi, just $7.99. Or make it into a sectional for only $20.99. England sofa exclusively at Banner from New Tazewell, Tennessee, only $679. Save up to $600 on select Banner mattresses made right here in Toledo. Plus, get up to 48 months of interest-free financing. See store for details at all 6 Banner locations.
Still no score. St. John's has had so many chances, and that last one might have been the best chance of all. First time they got a runner as far as third since the third inning, but that time they had Vollmer and Pearson coming up back-to-back, but still unable to do anything with Alex Schmenk. And now Perrysburg with Kevin Schenk leading off against Jesse Adams. Somebody's going to score a run, aren't they? Aren't they?
I don't know. This is certainly a classic matchup here. And
boy, wouldn't that
a nail biter if there ever was one.
The game gets called by darkness, and then what are they going to do then? They were going to do for the city softball. They were going to have to finish a semifinal game and then go on and play the next game. Would they do something like that here as opposed to pushing back the final? Interesting.
Well, they would probably finish this game early tomorrow, and then.
There's a high fly ball by Schenk. Taking charge over there is right fielder Joe Roby. And one away.
Taking charge a little late there. It looked like the center fielder and the right fielder were on a collision course.
Usually the center fielder's the one who's going to take that.
Well, he's the captain of the outfield, and he's got preference over everybody else. If he calls for it, it's his.
Now Stockwell's up. They hit for him last time. And strike one. He swings and misses.
You know, last inning, Greg, the wind started blowing in towards home plate. Now it's kind of.
The flag has been limp.
But there was a breeze coming in last inning. And a chilly breeze at that.
The game has really moved. It's last of the 8th, and we've been playing for about an hour and 40 minutes. It's a good thing, too. These innings are short because how many more they get in before it'll get dark. And it's already darker than usual because of the overcast conditions.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Stockwell lined a shortstop, and that was one of the excellent defensive plays that were made. He actually came closer than most to getting a hit in this game.
Technically, the sun doesn't set for another 2 hours, but it's a very overcast day, so it's been
technically I don't
dark.
See any sun. Swung on, missed, strike 3. This has just been a classic pitcher's duel. Remember this one when it comes time for the BCSN best games at the end of the year.
Well, staying within his rhythm and utilizing both sides of the plate and his whole repertoire of pitches.
Alex Schmenk takes a strike. Yeah, that poignant pause between the call and the signal. It's very theatrical. And here's a high pop. This time Nevers at third is going to take it. Catcher's nowhere near, and he makes the grab, and the inning is over. 8 in the book, still no score. We'll be right back.
What am I looking for in a university? Thousands in scholarship, caring faculty, campus activities, clubs and organizations, valuable mentors, on-campus events, lifelong friendships, small classes. The University of Findlay.
It's just what you're looking for.
Where can you go for Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan's largest selection of pre-owned vehicles under $10,000 or pre-owned luxury vehicles under $20,000? YarkAuto.com. Search over 2,000 new and pre-owned vehicles every day. Shop Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Nissan, Subaru, BMW, Chevrolet, and Fiat. Plus, get pre-approved in seconds. You can even schedule your service appointment. Just click YarkAuto.com.
We move to the top half of the ninth. It's like a college game here. As still both pitchers working on one-hitters. Pitch count becoming crucial now. Schmick at 96. Jason Knable, the BGSU SID up here with us, tells us. And Adams is right in that neighborhood too, so when does that start to become a factor here?
Right now, when you start to reach that 100 pitch mark, that's when you start to think about having to make a move, or at least checking periodically with your pitcher and hoping that he gives you real information, you know, the truth about how he's feeling. Last inning, Schmick just as cool as a cucumber last inning, Greg, with that runner in third base going to his bread and butter pitch, that high fastball. And there it is again, first pitch, and St. John's chasing first pitch, and he's, you know, the smart pitcher he is, he's noticed that, and he's thrown that first pitch out of the strike zone almost on purpose because he knows they're going to chase it.
Ben Nevers outside. Last year he got cut from the team. And this year he came out and made the team. And he's batting here in a crucial situation. And he hits a sharp one to shortstop. Nice backhand play. Throws up high, but very nimble-footed over there at first. Stockwell comes down on the bag to retire the leadoff batter Nevers.
Oh, Shane going down to one knee, so he stays low to the ground. Comes up, makes the high throw, but with one step to go before the runner got there, Stockwell able to jump up, make the play, and come right back down on the bag. We've seen a lot of good defensive plays here too. Just the things that have had to happen to keep this a 0-0 game have been happening.
The two little hiccups we saw right in the first inning, and they happened in situations that didn't cost anything at the time. And he recovered, and since then it's been just an impeccable game. Scott hits it high in the air, and that one is no problem. Cruz in center field. And there's quickly two away again.
And economical. We talked about both pitchers being economical here today, and both of them having kept their pitch counts under 100 in regulation innings is quite a feat.
Now that rain out, if Perrysburg is able to win this game, it would be even more of a blessing for them, especially if they would have to go to their bullpen and use Krusel for several innings here. That one is hit to the opposite field by Tipton, but it is caught out there, and we go to the last of the ninth. Still 0-0 on BCSN.
Commemorating the life of your loved one is unique.
He was always laughing and smiling.
We would visit every Sunday. Creating a lasting memory is important to tell their story. Since 1904, National Memorial Stone has been creating memorials for the Toledo area with the largest selection, design, and quality to fit your needs. National Memorial thoughtfully listens and shares ideas on how to forever reflect the memory of your loved ones. In your time of need, visit National Memorial Stone. Quality monuments and markers that last forever.
At the corner of Glansman and Byrne.
We love you, alma mater. We always will be true.
With Mary Evergarding.
Your doors with Mantle Blue.
We're thankful for your light so bright.
That helps us on our way.
Your spirit leads us onward.
With banners red and gray.
We'll cherish you forever.
And love you, Central High.
All praise to you, our mother.
We love you!
And love you. And love you. And love you.
And love you.
We love you, Central High.
Last of the ninth. Run is the ball game as Perrysburg comes up again with Garbick, Krusel, and Colby scheduled to hit against Jesse Adams. Who would have thought that we'd be in the last of the ninth and Adams would have a one-hitter going after he hurt himself in the top of the first?
Guts. That's what it is, gutsy performance. Of course, too, he hasn't had a whole lot of time to have that thing tighten up on him too much. And might bother him a little more tomorrow.
Somehow I just have to feel that even though it's obviously bothering him, somehow that the pitching motion is not aggravating it. I just don't see how he could continue to throw with this kind of authority if he was having that kind of trouble.
Well, it looks like the discomfort comes from running and having to move in different directions. Like right there you could see him hobble off the mound on the follow through. I think sometimes when he does catch it just right,
or just wrong,
yeah, and in that case it would
and that's what you always worry about. Everything's going along fine, and then all of a sudden you just get that little tweak, and all of a sudden you can't perform the same way that you had been all night. And that one is muscled towards second base. Willis gets over, and a bullet to first to retire Garbick. And there's one out.
Ladies in front of us get a little exuberant, and it's a little difficult for you to see, isn't it? Off the handle. Kind of a tough play because you know it's got a little English on it. Willett's able to get over in time to first base.
A lot of pressure riding on every ball that's hit, and of course it's a little darker than usual. It can be very dicey. Inside to Krusel.
Well, you're exactly right. The pressure is on everybody here, not just the pitchers. Everybody else on the team.
St. John's has probably had a few more good opportunities to break through and score, but in all honesty, the caliber of the pitching we're seeing, you can't hardly blame them for not being able to do it. Routine play this time to Willits. Krusel's down. We're 1 out away from a regulation 9-inning shutout by these two pitchers and 1 hit shutout on both sides. Zach Colby is up now.
Well, the old adage, good pitching stops good hitting. I think we're seeing 2 great pitching performances here today and shutting down some good offensive performers on both sides, and that curveball got away from Adams.
Second time we've seen a player clonked on the helmet today. This one, though, hit squarely as opposed to the earlier one that was kind of grazed.
Well, that was off speed, so it was not going to cause as much damage. And he did a nice job there, too. He saw it coming. He turned his back, and that's what you want to do as a player, is turn your back to the ball. Less chance of severe injury that way.
Steve Slocum is up. The pitch count for Adams going into this inning was 92, by the way. Talk about very efficient pitching, too. You're talking about 9-inning totals. Swing and a miss, and he's still
got the velocity
coming in with that fastball.
Yeah, the velocity is still there, and it's the good mix. He misses sometimes up high with that fastball, gets him to chase that high fastball, and then comes back with his breaking pitch.
He induces a lazy fly ball to right. Roby makes the catch. 9 in the books. 2 pitching jumps continue, no score.
I've seen so many people whose lives have been changed in an instant.
Whether a defective product, a construction, semi, or auto accident, their lives changed forever.
Someone else was responsible, and innocent lives were torn apart. It's just not right.
That's why I'm so committed to what I do.
I'm an attorney with Gallon Tackus, Boysen, Alton, Schaefer.
We fight to protect our clients and their families' rights to compensation, now and for the future.
Seriously injured? Call us. We can help.
Toledo Door Window can help you create the perfect door at a great price. Colors, designs, window glass. The choices in entry doors have never been better. Why spend days with catalogs trying to visualize it all when you can come see it in moments? See Provia door designs in any color and glass right before your eyes. With our experienced designers, find the perfect combination for your home. Once you like the look, feel the quality with our showroom displays. Getting the perfect door has never been this easy. Stop by today. Home of the talking door.
We move now to the top of the 10th. I'm going to run out of room on my scorecard here pretty soon. The teams have combined for a hit apiece after 9 innings. And the drama continues here. And an added aspect of the drama is the fading light. But they've gone so quickly, I think we still have a few innings to get in, as it's only 7 o'clock as we sit here. The game started shortly after 5.
Well, the scoreboard's getting brighter and brighter. The only light here. The only
I don't think it'll light the whole field.
Right fielder might be able to read by it.
There we go. New batters, Roby, Allen, Willits. Schmink, 102 pitches now. He had a 6-pitch inning. So he's not exactly fading as the game goes on. That ball is rifled into right field. The loudest hit of the game. Of course, not much to choose from. Only 3rd hit of the game. We've had a few line drives that have been caught, and Roby is aboard.
Roby continues his pattern of the St. John's hitters going up there and first pitch hit swinging. And that time, Schmink put one right in the wheelhouse there for Roby, who's a very good hitter in his own right. Now, Coach Eckhart had a personal conversation with Allen.
See if he tries to move him along again here. And of course, as it gets darker, it becomes even tougher. It's tough enough to hit these pitchers in broad daylight. Tries to lay down the bunt, but unsuccessfully.
Well, execution. Utmost importance. See if they continue here with the bunt.
What was that famous line? Ask the coach, what do you think your team's execution? He said, I'd be in favor of it.
Yeah, it was Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
John McKay.
John McKay. That's right.
Yeah.
Team
One of the
lost so many games. Great line. I love that line. Lost, what'd they lose, like 40 games in a row or something? And they said, what'd you think of your team's execution today? He said, I'm all for it.
Can't say that about either one of these teams. They've been spot on, especially the pitching.
Well, Schmink was looking for bunt there, so he said, I'm going to give you a high fastball and see if you can pop it up. Allen did a nice job there, recognizing the pitch out of the strike zone and pulled it back. So many times we've seen Greg batters, because they see the bunt sign, think they have to bunt. You don't have to. If it's not a strike, let it go by.
And a called strike there. It's right on the edge.
Yeah, he thought it was one of those pitches that if you're bunting, it looks like it's outside to you, and you don't want to reach out for it because that's one that you would pop up. Schmink is looking at the sign at third base just as hard as Allen is, trying to see if he can pick up something.
Make it be a strike, Liam.
2 strikes.
Right now, Liam, this is all
one of the rare times that Schmink was behind in the count. Again, he tries the bunt and he lays down a nice one this time. And they get Roby down to second base.
Well, he gave a high fastball, not the perfect pitch to bunt, but Allen was able to get on top of it, and with 2 strikes, laid down a good bunt.
Second base. Saw them do that with Adams before, to bunt with 2 strikes.
Well, it's of utmost importance to get that runner into scoring position. And you see that more and more in baseball now, that they will bunt with 2 strikes. If it's all that important, we got to get it done. Let's do it, even with 2.
One thing I think that's impressive in this game is that all the routine plays have been made without blemish, with the exception of those 2 pop flies. And there have been so many close kind of plays that a mistake could have been made. There's a long fly by Willits, but it will not be long enough. Hit into left field to get the runner to third base. A good effort on his part, but there's 2 out.
Again, first ball hitting,
Adams.
first ball swinging. St. John's hitters have been very aggressive here today. It's worked in the favor for Schmenk in a lot of cases. Well, that practice swing right there by Adams looked pretty good.
Yeah, the thing for him is going to be to get down to the bag if he can get a base hit.
That's a good point, Craig.
Gets maybe one that would be an infield hit, similar to the couple that Pearson almost had. He's probably not going to be able to leg it out. And especially, you don't want to run too hard and then mess yourself up and you can't go back and pitch the way he has been.
What he wants is to put something out in the outfield, something out on the green.
Yeah, that he can crawl to first base if necessary. The 0-1. Of course, he's a 5-14 hitter. And he is one of the few players who can say that his average has still gone down because he's 1 for 2.
Come on, Jess. Let's go, Jess. Right now, JT.
But he did have that hit to lead off the game. He went after that one, almost jumped out of his shoes at that high outside fastball.
Yeah, Schmenk's been able to use that to his advantage. That high fastball, again, it looks so good to the hitter. Very difficult pitch to hit, especially from somebody that throws as hard as Schmenk.
And timeout.
Come on,
Corey Tipton will go. That's one of the things you were talking about before the game with Coach Hall. Tipton is a 2-year varsity starter, so he's been working with these pitchers behind the plate now for a couple of years, the 3 senior star pitchers, and it's been a big factor in their success. See Coach Eckhart intently looking on in the third base coaching box. And a decision on sending a runner might make the difference in a game like this. And Adams slugged that one. Foul down the line, but hit it sharply.
Man, he's a little mad at himself because he knew he was just a little bit tardy on that swing. And Schmenk can make you tardy. He's got good movement on his fastball. A lot of giddy up. Many a good hitter has not been able to catch up with his fastball.
Yeah, he hit it off the fist right back to the mound. He's going to run it practically all the way over there and retire St. John's in the top of the 10th. Go to the last of the 10th. Still no runs scored in this game.
Life's journey is more rewarding when you have good direction. That's what young men find at St. Francis de Sales High School.
It's learning about ourselves and others through our service and our faith. Good morning, gentlemen.
It's a quest that begins with individual development, leads through group projects, and toward global outreach. What starts here can take a St. Francis night anywhere.
Your journey starts here at St. Francis.
Common misconception that car dealerships charge way too much for factory authorized service. It's time you knew the facts. Fact, Yark Service Centers are your one-stop shop for all your service needs. Fact, the Yark Price Match Guarantee means we'll match or beat any competitor's price. Fact, with over $1 million in parts available, Yark is sure to have the part needed. To schedule your service appointment 24/7, click YarkAuto.com. And that's a fact.
How much longer can this go on? That's got to be the question everybody has right now. Some activity now going on in the Perrysburg bullpen. That's Matt Krusel. And I think that is, if you talk about an ace in the hole, aside from the fact that Perrysburg has last ups here, they've got a pitcher of that caliber to come in and, in all likelihood, will be able to just continue on with what Schmenk has been doing. On the other hand, St. John's not as deep in their bullpen, certainly not to the point where they can put out a pitcher the caliber of a Matt Krusel, although we saw Joe Roby pitch very capably in the district final against Whitmer. I don't think anybody would contest the fact that Perrysburg with a little bit of an edge there in terms of second line pitching in this game.
Well, you're right. That is, if there's anything that tilts the pendulum more in favor of one team or the other, it's that pitching depth of Perrysburg.
And Hunter Smith, leadoff hitter,
And Schmenk,
ball and 1 strike.
And Schmenk has passed the 100 mark in pitches thrown. So you're getting to that point where you don't want to overtax your ace either.
Especially with the government, then you'd love to overtax. Smith, 2 balls and a strike. He's struck out. Back to the mound and flied to left. And we saw this activity in the St. John's bullpen really early in that very first inning. None since. I wonder when that will begin to awaken on their side. It's missed again here. And as we get further and further into this game, getting a leadoff man aboard is going to be more and more significant.
There's a big pitch here, a challenge pitch.
He does challenge him and had to be swinging on that. Hunter Smith rung up on the 3-2 fastball.
He challenged him. He said, here's my fastball. And he must have been looking for something else here, Greg, because you're right, with 2 strikes. So a nice job of framing that pitch, too, on the outside part of the plate. Tipton just does an excellent job behind the plate and handling these St. John's pitchers as well as Colby. For Perrysburg, you need that battery, you know, the pitching, the catching, strength up the middle. Both these teams, Greg, have strength up the middle.
Still never know, man. Still never know here.
Good keystone combinations.
0-1 outside to Ryan Young.
Allen in center field does a nice job, as well as Kruzel's been patrolling center field for Perrysburg today.
Breaking pitch just missed. Young has been a strikeout victim twice, walked once. And again, not by much, but misses. And now at 3-1. We've had very few of these types of counts, these hitters' counts in this game. Almost non-existent. But there's ball 4. That's only the 3rd walk in this, the 10th inning, yielded by Adams.
The shortstop,
Kevin Schenk is up now.
Missed high with those last 3 pitches. You have to figure at this point he's been so pinpoint, as well as Schmenk, that at some point they've got to start to lose it a little bit. And like you said, now we're seeing some hitters counts for the first time. And I think this is a good opportunity here for DJ to go out, DJ Eckhart, head coach for St. John's, and maybe slow things down a little bit too. I think he was working a little fast there the last 2 or 3 pitches, and remind everybody, you know, what everyone's responsibilities are in case there's an extra base hit, where they're supposed to be, because that's the winning run down there at first base with 1 out.
Yeah, the beautiful thing about the pitching in this game, aside from the fact that it's just been so effective, is that they haven't been relying on big fastballs and huge strikeout totals. Just 7 strikeouts for Schmenk, 6 for Adams. It's exquisite pitching that we're seeing out here, not throwing.
Right. Perrysburg likes to bunt. What's going to happen here? What are we going to do if they bunt and run? What if the runner goes and he bunts?
Bunt. Throw down to first, and the ball is thrown into right field, but no advance. Wow.
Oh, man.
The runner slipped. I thought at first they had a good chance to get him. Then all of a sudden, it was thrown beyond first base.
Well, they had a little play on here. They had the second baseman.
The fielder that slipped.
Have the second baseman ducking in Willits behind the runner at first, because they figured that if he bunts through this pitch, the runner at first will be dancing off. So it was kind of like a pickoff. What's the discussion here about? Coach Eckhart came partway up the pathway to home plate. There was a discussion between Adams and the umpire. St. John's is Nevers in real close at third.
Ball and no strikes. Bunted to first base. Adams When he has to move to get to the ball, he did it. Well, not as gracefully as he would normally do it, but he got the job done. Sacrifice Young to second.
Perrysburg likes to execute with
first
that
A.J. Stockwell.
bunt. Nice drag bunt there. He dragged it down the first base line, forcing Adams to come off the mound to field the ball.
And a pinch hitter for A.J. Stockwell. Going to be Mark Dellis.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. Pinch hitting for Stockwell. Number 20, Mark Dallas.
And here is an opportunity to be a hero.
Well, and he may not see a pitch. He may opt to put him on and put a force on any base. They have a left-handed hitter in the on-deck circle. No circle,
That's
but on
Schmink,
deck.
Though, and you don't know if they'd want to walk to work to him. It's like they're going to challenge Dellis. And missed outside, ball one, but they're going to pitch carefully to him, I'm sure.
Well, they're going to pitch carefully to whoever's up there with that winning run at second base with 2 outs.
And they thought they had a chance to get him at second, but diving back in goes Ryan Young. If they pitch carefully to him to the extent that if they put him on, they're not going to be overly concerned because that run doesn't matter. Fouled off. Ball and a strike. Both teams, the heart of their order in the next inning if we get that far. Fouled off again. Dellis a little bit late, but he's connecting with the ball.
Well, and that may be the thought here too. They're bringing in a player that hasn't been in the ball game and might be a little stiff coming in.
Now the pitchers again working from a favorable count, but Dellis fouls it off again.
And you can see Tipton giving that target for the high fastball. The bread and butter pitch for both of these pitchers, that high fastball with 2 strikes, getting the hitters to pitch. They put down the number 2 there. See what
3 times in a row he's hit
breaking pitch.
Pretty well foul, but couldn't get it in fair territory. Strike 3. We go to the 11th. Still nothing.
Want a better way to track what you spend? PNC Virtual Wallet now comes with Spending Zone. It organizes all your spending, including your PNC debit card, credit card, and your bills, so you can view them by category or by month. You can set a budget, and it'll even alert you when you're getting close to the amount you've set and when you've gone over. Spending Zone is built to help you keep better track of your spending. Experience everything Virtual Wallet has to offer at pncvirtualwallet.com. PNC Bank, for the achiever in you.
Celebrate savings this Memorial Day with Banner's Made in America sale. Queen size panel bed made in Galax, Virginia, just $469. Dual reclining sofa made in Pontotoc, Mississippi, just $7.99. Or make it into a sectional for only $20.99. England sofa exclusively at Banner from New Tazewell, Tennessee, only $679. Save up to $600 on select Banner mattresses made right here in Toledo. Plus, get up to 48 months of interest-free financing. See store for details at all 6 Banner locations.
Some activity now in the St. John's bullpen. That's Joe Roby, who pitched the district final over Whitmer. And the interesting scenario is they can't have him up throwing while the pitcher's out there because he's also playing in the field. So he has to just get his warm-ups in while his team's at bat. So we'll see whether they're on the verge of putting him in the ball game. But Perrysburg has made their move. Left-hander Matt Krusel is into the game, who has had just a fabulous season for the Perrysburg Yellow Jackets. ERA 0.5, and as hard as it is to believe, his statistics even exceed that of Schmink. Actually 0.65. The ERA of Krusel, a 6-0 record in 43 innings pitched. 28 walks, 56 strikeouts. He's pitchers typically pile up a large number of strikeouts. Schmenk is over at second base now.
Steve Slocum will move to center, Greg. And Hunter Smith will be at first.
Ryan Young goes from second base to right field.
Ryan Young in right field. So Ryan Young to right field, Steve Slocum to center, Matt Krusel pitching, Alex Schmenk center. And I guess that's when the music stopped playing. So here we go. And one of two things can happen here. Krusel, he's the kind of guy that during the course of the year, if he had one Achilles heel, it's that in early innings of games, he had some trouble. But if he got through that early inning, then he was practically untouchable, as his numbers indicate. The question is, does that same thing hold true here now that it's the 11th inning instead of the first inning?
Well, and how many times has he come in relief? Has he been mostly used as a starting pitcher or
undoubtedly
or a relief pitcher? And that sometimes that will be.
And he is greeted with a hard smash to left field by Vollmer, but it is caught out there in left field by Austin Lee. And St. John's, they just can't buy a break. Every time they hit the ball hard, it goes right to a Perrysburg player who handles it. Every time they get a ball that looks like it might sneak through and be a hit, they've been nipped by a fraction of a second. Now Pearson again. He's another guy who could put St. John's ahead with one swing of the bat. He is the one who's been nipped at first base on a couple of those bang-bang plays. Breaking pitch didn't quite dip into the strike zone, although the Perrysburg fans wanted it.
Now Krusel's a fast worker. Different look here for St. John's.
And did that hit Pearson, or maybe got it with his bat, though? Ball, a foul ball.
On the handle a little bit.
Boy, that ball that was hit by Vollmer, that moved it over, got it in the gap. That could have been a real game changer. 1-2, holds up on the swing. Did he go around? They say out. Strike three. And two big hurdles have been cleared by Krusel. Vollmer and Pearson have been both retired.
This breaking pitch going down and away to Nate Pearson. He tried to hold up, but the home plate umpire asked for help, and the umpire at third said he went.
Big swing and a miss by Nevers. Strongsville beat Mid-Park in the other regional semi. So the winner of this game plays Strongsville hopefully tomorrow. And a strike call there. 0-2. And Krusel was greeted with that hard shot by Vollmer, but other than that, he's been looking very effective here in his first inning of work. And this is a ground ball to Schenk over at short. Cross for the out. 1, 2, 3. Pass the baton, no change. Still easy inning for the pitcher.
Come see what's new at the Anderson's Garden Centers. There are plants here you just won't find anywhere else. We carry over 150 varieties of annual flowers, and they're all Ohio grown. 75 varieties of tomatoes and peppers, 85 different homegrown gourmet vegetables, over 100 different styles of hanging baskets, more than 600 varieties of perennials, and our experts know every plant we sell. It's garden season, and we're ready to grow at the Andersons.
Celebrate savings this Memorial Day with Banner's Made in America sale. Queen size panel bed made in Galax, Virginia, just $469. Dual reclining sofa made in Pontotoc, Mississippi, just $7.99. Or make it into a sectional for only $20.99. England sofa exclusively at Banner from New Tazewell, Tennessee, only $679. Save up to $600 on select Banner mattresses made right here in Toledo. Plus, get up to 48 months of interest-free financing. See store for details at all 6 Banner locations.
Pitch for Toledo St. John's, number 8, Joe Roby.
They have made a change.
Now
it is right field, Joe Roby, Cam Brickman in right field. He's the one who played in place of Vollmer when Vollmer was DHing in the districts. Roby pitched against Whitmer in the district final, and he was effective in that game, although not effective to the extent that we have seen, obviously, the pitchers here today. And the question will be, will he be able to hold up his end of things the way that obviously the other pitchers that we've seen today have been doing?
Well, it'll be another left-hander for St. John, so it won't be a different look for Perrysburg. Krusel coming in as a left-hander after they've seen the hard right-handed slants of Schmenk. Probably was a little different to look at. Nice little different look. I'm sure that helped, although there was one frozen rope hit out to left field.
Roby's ERA, as of the districts, was 7.21. So obviously he's not probably pitcher is the first thing in his job description, the way it is for the likes of Schmenk and Krusel. I don't know what you'd say with Adams. He hits .514, but now you're going to have a real gutsy effort out of him. Ground ball to second, and a good start. Plus his defense is really going to have to give him good support. And Schmenk is retired to lead off the Perrysburg 11th, and now it's Matt Garbick, and he'll even settle for a garbage hit at this point.
Well, that ball hit by Schmenk was hard. Line drive, one hop, but right at the second baseman. So both teams had their leadoff man hit the ball hard on the first pitch and hit it right at somebody.
And field down to first, say he didn't go around. Garbick got that hit that dropped between the three St. John's players. Contact, flied to center, grounded to third, grounded to second. And as I said, relatively few strikeouts. The balls are being put in play. That's impressive for the pitchers that they have been pitching, not just throwing, and it's very impressive for the defense of both teams that they have been continually making plays that they've been called on to make. So often in high school baseball, you'll see a bad throw and get a couple of bases. The closest we've seen to that was the last inning when that ball was thrown into right field, but there was still no advance because of Alert backing up. Outside, 2-2.
Well, the keys in any ball game for any team to win is good pitching, good defense, and then timely hitting. Both teams have had the good pitching and defense. So far today, we have not seen a timely hit by either team that's been able to break that deadlock.
And I think that's been almost 100% attributable to the caliber of pitching that we've seen. As we've got a lot of the big bats up in those situations, and they sneak a third strike past Garbick. And there's two down.
Well, how about Joe Roby? He's coming in here doing his best Jesse Adams impression.
Yes, he is.
Mixing his breaking pitch and his fastball and moving the ball in and out.
You know, the other factor you got to think about, too, is that these are the pitchers that undoubtedly were slated to start tomorrow's game.
That's a good point, Greg.
And if they end up pitching 2, 3, 4 innings, that's going to change that calculus pretty substantially. There's a ball out to Pearson, unassisted put out, 11 innings in, no score. Back with more on BCSN.
Welcome to the new Appliance Center Home Store, the greatest furniture showroom in Ohio. We're the area's Tempur-Pedic mattress headquarters. Plus, see Simmons, Rustonic, and more. Choose from over 200 mattresses in stock. Right now, queen mattress sets starting at just $265. Plus, 2 years same as cash on select mattresses. Free same-day delivery, setup, and recycling. The new Appliance Center Home Store, Ohio's greatest home furnishing destination.
You may already know that Ballas is the #1 Buick dealer in the area, but did you know we're the #1 GMC dealer too? That means we have the area's best selection of Terrain, Yukon, Acadia, and Sierra. And now through May 31st, you can lease this 2011 GMC Acadia for as low as $339 a month, or this 2011 Terrain for as low as $298 a month. Stop in and test drive a GMC today, but only at Ballas on the Central Avenue Strip, the area's #1 GMC dealer.
Krusel warming up, and he looked very, very strong in his first inning in relief. Two big factors, I think, at this point. With Krusel coming in and as dominant a pitcher as he is, Roby is solid as he was in the last inning, and as capable as he is, I think that the longer the game goes on at this point, it's going to favor Perrysburg. Secondly, the longer it goes on, it's going to hurt both teams in terms of their prospects for tomorrow when they play that very strong Strongsville team.
Yes, because you know that they've got pitching left, and with their 5-0 victory, they had kind of an easy game of it. This has been a stressful game for each player on the team. The pitchers, of course, were pitching a lot of stressful pitches, but the two starters are not going to factor into tomorrow's game, except maybe.
And Adams might not even be able to play in the field.
Exactly, except maybe offensively, and he's going to be a question mark.
Be a DH, and maybe he can run enough, but definitely some factors that you don't normally foresee that are going to perhaps be detrimental. But right now, you got to get to the game. That's the main thing.
Right.
Scott, 1-0 here in the count. Had that grand slam. Great hockey defenseman for St. John's.
Yeah, we've got the luxury of looking ahead and thinking in that terms, and these teams are just saying we just want to win this game and get to that game tomorrow. We don't care.
I'm not going to leave anything on the field here tonight.
It's a moot point if you don't play tomorrow.
But Perrysburg, they're going to be thanking their lucky stars even more for that rain out yesterday. And there's once more a hard hit ball, but it does not get over the center fielder's head, Steve Slocum, who just moved over from right field. Looks like he was frozen for a moment, but he recovered and made the catch.
Now the ball hit on the nose. The toughest play for the outfielders. The line drive hit right at you, and that's what Scott did. He put the good swing on. You could see just a little bit of hesitation there. First, it looked like it may get past him, but he recovered quickly. And
every time St. John's has hit the ball hard, it's been right at somebody. Ground ball to second, and played very confidently there by the new second baseman in the game, Alex Schmink. And two down quickly, and Joe Roby is up. How frustrating it must be to finally get a pitcher of Schmink's caliber out of there, and you're greeted by a guy like this. You would think Alex Williams maybe would be their best bet. And what a catch on that pop foul. Extending and making the grab, Zach Colby. Another three-star defensive gem.
You say to me, Vito, I know you make the most fantastic pizza. But what else you got up your sleeve, huh? Ooh. Wrong sleeve. What I got for you is Vito's New York style fold-over sub. My special pizza dough flatbread stuffed with the freshest, most delicious ingredients, or should you prefer, Vito's classic sub on a baked-to-perfection bun. Vito's Pizza and Subs. Fast, hot, fresh, guaranteed.
A garage can be a pretty nasty place. So a working garage door means happier neighbors. Quality Overhead Door has been keeping neighbors happy since 1982, and we offer same-day service. So your neighbors don't have to look at this. Quality Overhead Door, because your garage door matters.
Last half of the 12th, and what an outstanding play by catcher Zach Colby to end the last inning. And as you said before, that catcher's mitt isn't really designed for making those kind of catches. Take a look at it here.
Oh, reading it off the bat, he finds the ball, flips the mask, full extension, and he says, yes. Way to go.
Like the wide receiver. And guess great catch in the back of the end zone.
And guess who's leading off?
Once again, baseball lore strikes again. Colby leading things off in the
it's amazing
last
how
of
that
the
happens.
11th. I think if we're playing at the time that Twizzler bag is empty, they'll have to suspend the game.
Yes, game over.
Here we go. And Colby set leading off after that outstanding effort And he takes a ball. He's heading to Adrian to play at that great program they got there. They made that Division II College World Series a couple of years ago. A lot of local talent there.
They're going to get themselves one good catcher.
Big swing and a miss from Roby. And I think we talked about the pitchers, kind of being challenged by the others and saying, I want to try to match them. And I'm sure that the pitching exploits of all these other outstanding players have lit a fire under Roby, and he wants to go out and maybe match what they're doing, and he picks up a strikeout that they had to throw down to first to get Coleman. He's faced 4 and retired 4 so far.
And a nice job there by Tipton to signal down to the first baseman Pearson that the throw is going to be coming in from the foul side so that they're not throwing into the runner. Staying with the basics, fundamentals, and that's why these teams are nothing here late in this game, because they're fundamentally sound, Greg. Good pitching, good defense. They've done a pretty decent job, too, on the offensive side of moving runners into scoring position with the bunt.
That's what I said. Considering the paucity of strikeouts, the defensive play has been very impressive, because even though there haven't been a lot of spectacular plays, such as we saw that ended the last inning, really at all levels of baseball, but especially at high school baseball, it's the routine play is the thing that'll get you sometimes. 3-1 now, the count on Slocum. He induces a high pop. It's going to just run out of room, though, and fall amongst the spectators. We're starting to see him down the line now.
Yeah, some of the late arrivers.
Overflow crowd here.
It is an overflow. What a great crowd. It's been an energetic crowd, very enthusiastic, both sides.
The only thing that's been calm is the wind, which we never hardly ever see here. The 3-2. We go in the opposite way, and it is foul. That would have been extra bases. At some point, a hit like that is going to land fair, and that may be the turning point of the game.
Well, we came close earlier with a runner on second base and that ground ball down the third baseline that just went foul that would have scored that run.
St. John's has had 2 really hard shots off of Krusel since he came in, but both times they were right at the outfielder. Everything has been breaking for the pitcher and the defense. And there is ball 4 on the 3-2. So Perrysburg maybe with something going here now as Hunter Smith advances on the plate.
Heads up on the plate, Theo!
Crowd reaction kind of, this has been seesaw, go back and forth. As Perrysburg fans, when they're up, they're sensing something big may be happening, and then St. John's fans, when they come up to bat, doing the same. And it's one of those duels, Greg. It's who's going to blink first. It's a stare down match.
Like a fencing contest. Duel is the operative word. Roby was an outstanding player in that great St. John's football team. They got their revenge on Whitmer by winning a district final after they lost to him in a football classic earlier this year, but he's used to playing under pressure. This is a much different kind of pressure, though, than you get in football or when you're playing baseball in another position.
Well, every pitch means so much. Every play, everything that happens just is magnified tremendously in a game like this, and being in a regional semifinal to boot. It's just the pressure is extensive. Ooh, boy, almost threw that one away.
Remember a couple of years ago, last year at Shelby, it might have been Clay and Perrysburg. They were involved in a great regional semifinal game. It was played there. I don't think still anything like this, though. And the shortstop vacated his position because the runner took off. And the result is the ball got out into left field. It would have been an easy play, probably even a double play ball. But because Jim Scott had to move, the ball got through to left field.
Well, the hit and run, Perrysburg trying to force the issue here, sending the runner. Nice job hitting behind the runner. Then the vacated spot by the shortstop. Runner at second, however, not able to advance to third, Greg, because of great recovery in the outfield.
Well, Perrysburg extremely fortunate that they've got the runner as far as second. And now it's time for a real serious conference on the mound.
Well, the umpires gave the hurry-up sign before Coach Eckhart even made it across the third base line. He's saying, hey, yeah, go out there and have your talk, but make it quick.
I like that old clip where Lasorda was talking to his pitcher and the umpire came out to hurry him along, and he turned around and he said, what do you think I ought to do in this? He tried to draw him into the conversation to buy some more time. And the guy said, that's your job, not mine. Wrap it up. Let's go.
Yeah, that was one of the first times he mic'd a manager in a World Series. And, yeah, that was a classic conversation. What do you think I should do here? I don't care what you do.
And these fans, I'm sure they got some opinions on what ought to be done. And the Perrysburg fans, they're really ready for a victory here now.
Well, this is
Joe Roby getting some encouragement from his teammates, but he must feel like he's got the weight of the world on him right now. As you can see, some very intense expression etched on his face.
Well, the outfield has to move in a little bit.
I'd even say a little concerned expression etched on his face.
They have to be able to throw the runner out. See the outfield now coming in. Center fielders moving in. They have to be able to be in a position to make a play at the plate on a base hit.
Ryan Young, the man on the spot, and the ball in the dirt. He's walked twice, struck out twice. A walk here would do fine for Perrysburg. Just one out, and they'd have winning run 90 feet away, but he'd love to end it right here. And a great block by Tipton as he got it. He didn't get his body in front of that ball. He just snared it with his left hand. Otherwise, the runners would have moved up, taken the force off, and that would have been a catastrophic turn of events for St. John's.
Yeah, but a hitter's count right here.
And now even more of a hitter's count. And the Perrysburg fans, they sense they might have something going that's different than all the other short-circuited would-be rallies in this game.
And they got here with the fundamental execution of the hit and run, Greg.
The 3-0 right down the pipe. He's taken all the way on that one.
Yeah, they were hoping to induce ball 4 there to get that runner to third base. He'll probably take another one. Ooh, he had his rip at that 3-1 pitch.
That's full again.
I thought they might take another pitch there, hoping to load the bases and force St. John's to bring the infield in.
And the earlier walk this inning was on a count that was run out to full. See some rattling in the stands.
That's right.
For a minute, I thought it was thunder. We've heard so much of it.
I thought it was an airplane at first, but we're right near the BG airport. But it's the foot stomping.
3-2. Close. Ball 4. That could have gone either way. And he waited until he called ball 4. I'll bet you if he'd have taken 2 steps down, he'd have shot him back to the dugout.
Well, Roby is just staring in. He's shaking his head like, I can't believe what I just saw.
And you change the inflection.
Yeah.
That's good, you know. Well, I don't think he could have made much of a better pitch than that under the circumstances.
Well, regardless, they did.
That's the kind where you figure, hey, the
up.
guy's got to swing at it. He's not going to keep the bat on his shoulder on one that's tantalizingly close. But now Kevin Schenk is up. Anything will score the run. Ball gets by the catcher, game over. Scratch hit, game over. Decent length fly ball, game over.
Balk, game
over.
over.
Any number of other things, game over.
More ways to score from third base than any other spot on the diamond. And
with less than 2 out,
pressure's really on.
I think it's going up and down because of the stopping on the grandstand. They pitch out, and it's a smart idea to maybe try to get somebody off the bag, but now all of a sudden they're already pitching
Well,
behind.
I think they were looking for the squeeze play there, Greg. I think they're looking for a squeeze because the third baseman was not going back to the bag for a pickoff. Here he comes,
Here
squeeze.
he comes, bunted back to the mound. He can't control it, and the game is over. Slocum comes in with the winning run, and the Perrysburg Yellow Jackets, for the second straight year, move on to the regional finals.
Well, I think
a classic 1-0 victory over St. John's.
And I think everybody knew it was coming. Even St. John's knew. And if Roby had not slipped, Greg, he would have had a play at the plate.
That ball was very, very playable. And I think he would have had the runner had he been able to field the ball cleanly. And this is the Central Catholic big play of the game. Undoubtedly, the game that decides it, the play that decides it. Here it is. Definitely could have been made, but he was very, very anxious and slipped. And the ball game is over. You got to feel for St. John's after that tremendous effort. But as you would well expect, Perrysburg exuberant after that run finally comes home, and they're a game away from states again. First time since 2003 trying to get there with the Central Catholic big play. Let's take a break. Perrysburg wins it.
Since the Overhead Door Company makes the original overhead door, the people who install and service them take them pretty seriously.
Look for the ribbon, look for the name, the original overhead door.
York, it's just what you're looking for. Where can you go for Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan's largest selection of pre-owned vehicles under $10,000 or pre-owned luxury vehicles under $20,000? YarkAuto.com. Search over 2,000 new and pre-owned vehicles every day. Shop Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Nissan, Subaru, BMW, Chevrolet, and Fiat. Plus, get pre-approved in seconds. You can even schedule your service appointment. Just click YarkAuto.com.
Why only watch BCSN on TV when you can stream it online with BCSN Vision? Whether it's the biggest game of the season or your granddaughter's first softball game, you can watch it from any computer in the world. Log on to bcsn.tv to find out how to start streaming the best local sports in Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan.
Life's journey is more rewarding when you know your goals and learn how to reach them. That's how young men prepare at St. Francis de Sales High School.
At St. Francis, we want to help students discover that they're stronger and better than they think they are.
The blend of personal discipline and character, along with supporting the team, produces a real victory that lasts long after any game is over. It produces a St. Francis night.
Your journey starts here at St. Francis.
Welcome to the new Appliance Center Home Store, the greatest furniture showroom in Ohio. We're the area's Tempur-Pedic mattress headquarters. Plus, see Simmons, Rustonic, and more. Choose from over 200 mattresses in stock. Right now, all Tempur-Pedic mattresses include free bed frames and pillows. Plus, 2 years same as cash on select mattresses. Free same-day delivery, setup, and recycling. The new Appliance Center Home Store, Ohio's greatest home furnishing destination.
In 12 innings, Perrysburg, a walk-off win. There's a look at it. Had Roby not slipped, they might have even been able to turn 2 out of that. So it was a gamble for that force play, but it worked out. They forced the issue, and with all that pressure on, sometimes that sort of thing tends to happen.
Well, and that's why they call it the suicide. You know, you could get killed on that, but a nice job there in that inning executing. They executed the hit and run. They got the bases loaded, got that runner to third base with less than 2 outs, and do what Coach Hall likes to do, and that's call for the suicide to get that winning run in.
Interviewing Kevin Schenk down there on the field, who gets the game-winning RBI, so it will be Perrysburg and Strongsville. And I think it's important that Cruz only had to pitch 2 innings. They were quick innings, so he'll have a strong arm, I would think, in that game. Certainly much more than if he had to pitch 4 or 5 innings.
Well, that's a very good point. They're in a good position to be able to use Cruzell tomorrow. They just have to get, regroup themselves after a very hectic and very nerve-wracking game today.
All right, well, that'll do it. Perrysburg wins it 1-0 in a real classic. For Rick Pohl and our crew, Greg Frankie saying so long. You're watching BCSN, seen exclusively on Buckeye Cable System. You can't get this on AT&T or with a dish. I mean, I think that